Hello everybody, and we are back with some more D&D awesomeness. This is the premiere of the Thursday group for the City of Harn campaign setting, designed by me. I can't really do a last time on D&D because there wasn't a last time. This is the first time on D&D. As you can see, we have a lovely new overlay for starting things up, formulated by Tetranova. Got music, we got Twitch chat, we got titles, we got all the players down below me here. We're hoping you're pumped, and we're gonna get started. Yeah. So, let's transition. And then I gotta stop the music. There we go. Yeah, okay. So, welcome to the campaign setting. First things first, of course, we're gonna do our world introduction and our character introductions. So, for those of you who don't know the setting, I will do the world introduction first. The setting is in the desert wasteland that is the remnants of the world. In this world, there are large steampunk sort of ish moving cities that move on like giant ass tank treads. And one of these cities, chief among these cities, or there are 6 cities, but chief among these cities is Harn, which is the city where our players will be starting out. Now, each of our players will, of course, introduce themselves and their character and tell us a little bit about them and their past and so forth, and then we'll be ready to jump in. So let's do it. So we're gonna go in terms of order. We're gonna go by frame, like video frame. So it'll be Ginger first, who's a new player, then Yin, then Kilroy, then Rockvasha, then Fuzzy, then Keanu. So our 2 new players this campaign are Ginger and Keanu, joining us, who were not in the last campaign. So welcome, gentlemen. And begin. Introduce yourself and your character, dear Ginger.
Well, my character is an elf. It's kind of an upper class douchebag. You know, kind of plays around with illusions and kind of compulsion enchantment magic. But overall, he's just a spoiled rich kid who thinks he's better than everybody else.
Name, class.
Name, Didier Socherel, which I don't expect anyone to be able to pronounce.
Perfect.
On purpose. And his class is Sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Perfect. All right. Yin, hit us up with your current character.
Alright, I'm playing Isil. He is a kobold paladin. He's got some nice golden scales, and basically his backstory is his family was slaughtered by a group of chaotic good adventurers, like whatever you want to call them as, and as they came upon him, they chose not to kill a baby and instead took him in and repurposed him.
Okay,
So they
nice.
repurposed him into more of a follower of Bahamut. Like, the whole law and still being related to dragons was kind of what reeled him in. And since then he's been trying to make the world a better place, and the only way he kind of knows how to do that right now is following laws. So that's pretty much all he does.
So it's law over good, but good as well. Paladin.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so golden scaled kobold paladin, Isil. And Kilroy, how about yourself?
Okay, so I am playing Kraz. He is a very strange elf. He's a bit of a loner. Not a loner by choice, but just a loner because he's pretty ugly. And almost just his mannerisms and everything, he's a very strange person, so he doesn't get a lot of friends. He is obsessed with family, even though he has no children of his own, and the people that he gets close to, he basically starts treating them as family members, much to their dismay at times. Yeah. So, yeah, he's a little bit of an oddball, but should be an interesting character.
A little bit of an oddball indeed. Okay. Rockvasha, tell us about your fellow.
As always, I am Rockvasha. I am playing Duncan Pharamond, a lawful neutral tiefling Totori monk. Earlier in Duncan's years, he had a wife and child that were murdered by an extremist cult, and he basically lost all will to live in doing that. After this, he met a man named T.R. Stanting, who he had a fisticuffs bout with, and realized that he could actually repurpose his abilities into becoming basically what a modern-day UFC fighter. I'm not sure what they would call it in this society, but basically he's a fighter who fights in underground gambling
He's like
rings.
a fighter for pay, right? Yeah.
Yep. So that's basically where he is now.
Okay. Fuzzy?
I am Fuzzy Goblinoid. I play Aaliyah Fairfeather, the Tengu Magus. Aaliyah grew up as an orphan, idolizing courtesans for their ability to control men and spend all of their money. So she found that she could cast magic, and through that, she crawled her way from slums into the position of a courtesan.
All right. So not only a magus, but a courtesan. I like it. All right, and last but not least, of course, Keanu, tell us about your fellow.
Right, I'm playing a character named Orog Grimwolf, a half-orc, whose origins come from a tribe that lives actually outside of the cities. They are kind of like a fight-to-survive tribe, all kind of on like strength is what's the essence of who is to live and who is to die and who is to rule. Except he was orphaned as a child and actually adopted by a society inside this town, in fact. He is currently a ninja, but that is only a name because he does not look and probably isn't very dexterous of a fellow, as he is a big, burly half-orc.
Big burly half-orc ninja. I like it. You're half-orc, not full-orc?
I decided half.
Okay,
Just the
perfect.
mods.
I just realized that, Kilroy, I don't think you gave us your class, did you? When you did your-
Witch.
Witch, perfect. Just wanted to make sure I had it sort of on record
Yep.
for the recording. And I, of course, last but not least to introduce myself, I, of course, am DistractedElf. I am your host, the inventor of the campaign setting, and the GM. So I control everything that has nothing to do with the players, or, you know, we'll try to kill them, or we'll socialize with them, or whatever else. So that's kind of what I do. What I'd like to do now, and this will require probably a little bit of improv from you guys. I'm hearing that nose whistle again. Kilroy, I don't know if that's you, but
Is it
I'm
me?
getting it from somebody. I don't know who it is, but
That probably is.
but what I'd like you guys to do for me is to tell me in the last sort of week, you know, the last week that has passed, what have you been up to? And what I'd like for you to describe for me, and this is just like to help me out, is that they may have done something during that time that is less than legal or would be frowned upon by our authorities, something they could get in trouble for, because, well, you're going to get in trouble. So it helps me if it's in your story. So we'll do the same deal. We'll kind of go from left to right along the screen. So we'll start with Ginger again. Ginger, what has DTA been doing the last week?
Over the past week? Okay. Well, something I didn't tell you about Zizier is that his kind of, I guess, profession would be that he represents the financial assets of a certain group of elven families. And through that, in the past week, he's been accused of and gone to court for embezzlement charges. And now that, because the court, let's say the court appearances went poorly, he has gone to the lower quarters to kind of try to hide out and lay low for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where he stands.
Perfect. Okay. Isil, how about yourself?
I may have assaulted someone of a higher tier because they used necromantic magics near me, and they tried to leave the scene after doing so. So I saw that negative energy and I was like, Necromancer! And basically, started to assault the person as soon as they tried to leave the scene after doing it.
Immediately fled from authorities afterwards, I imagine. But
Yeah,
ditched out.
Self-preservation.
it was kind of like, I'm an important person. I was like, well, I'm not really sure where to handle this, so I'll just be on my way.
I'm gonna leave now. Bye. Cool. Okay, Kraz. How about
Okay.
for Kraz?
So, native to the lower tiers, I actually found a person who was in need. His child was injured or whatever. And I went to heal him, and he didn't like exactly how I was healing his child. So he attacked me, and I ended up murdering him.
Please don't tell me that was some kind of euphemism. Like,
No. Nothing like that.
okay, all right. So basically, some unorthodox methods. and,
Unorthodox methods of healing, not freaking.
Here, have some Eye of Newt.
Just,
Ah.
Yeah, pretty much that kind of deal.
just making sure. Okay, and Duncan, how about yourself?
Duncan Fairmont took a more shady fight than he normally would, and it turned out to be like a back alley brawl behind officials' backs, and he was actually reported for misorderly conduct, basically, in the streets.
Okay, so like sort of civil disturbance, like
Yeah.
sort of business. All right, perfect. Alia,
Elia was
if I'm saying
caught,
that right. Sorry.
Elia
Yeah. Okay.
was caught trying to sneak onto the higher levels, try to
Ah.
look for a better clientele.
Trying to move up without the papers to do so. Okay, and last but not least, of course, Orog.
Well, part of his backstory is that his adopted family is part of a secret society in this world. Kind of like clans dedicated to various, like, either assassinations or information gathering. His family is actually part of the info group, and he was assigned to lay low because their family did discover information that was potentially dangerous.
Okay, so he's seen something he shouldn't have seen, basically. I'm liking it. All right, so we're gonna open it up. Who shall I open it up with? Let's see. Yeah, let's do. Let's. I can actually have most of you involved. So we're going to open the scene on a familiar inn. For those of you who are watching the other session, the Dragon's Teeth Inn, where many, of course, go to try and forget their troubles and seek refuge, or maybe convert people to their cause, or look for people to hire, or it's just generally a good place to be for various social activities. You can decide whether or not you want your character to be here in the inn when stuff is going down or not. It is completely up to you, but I will deal with it as such as it goes.
I'm hiding out here trying to drink my troubles because it's the first time I just slit somebody's throat. So
Okay.
I'm like hiding in the corner over here.
He's like that's like right near the door, by the way. The door is
Oh,
like
really?
that southern wall here, like over here is the door.
Oh shit.
Well, isn't there an opening over here?
Where?
This is like, there's an actual opening.
Yeah, it looks like the door's right here.
Yeah, I thought the door was over there.
Yeah, it's not,
Okay.
it's here.
Yeah, it's right there where those guys are gonna walk in and arrest us.
Pretty much. So
Pretty much.
so you're hiding out here, Kraz. How about the rest of you? Are you guys here, or are you off
Yeah,
somewhere else?
I'm
You
gonna
out
actually
there.
put myself on the top corner here. Kind of trying to lay low as well. Orog is wearing his monk uniform, and holding a really large like staff thing, all wrapped in bandages behind him.
Now,
I'm just socializing.
an interesting question for you guys, and feel free to improvise if you haven't thought of anything before. But do any of you know each other?
I know TR Stanting,
Yeah, he's not in this group.
but
Yeah.
no. Other than that,
Nope.
probably
I
wouldn't
think,
associate with any of these fellas.
I might have tried to chat up Didier.
Did you? Yeah.
Didier.
That probably went well for you.
I like it. All
Well,
right.
I'm not
So,
saying
so you have sort of a passing knowledge of a couple of people, maybe seen them on the streets and so forth. You guys are fairly frequent around this area the last little while, so you've probably knocked into each other at least once or twice, I would say. But anyway, so we have Orog is here, Kraz is here. What about the rest of you guys?
I'm here.
Okay, Duncan's here.
I'm here
Could
I already be
trying
captured?
to order
Huh?
fancy wine.
Could I already be captured?
Sure, if you want.
Alright.
All right.
I'll be captured
We'll
already.
consider you've already been arrested. And so you've been taken previously at the scene of your last event. Let's
Not
say.
too good at running away from scenes of crimes.
Anybody
Since I don't
else?
commit any.
Anybody of the same opinion or?
I think I would have been
Well,
caught. It's kind of hard
I'm-
to run
True.
in an elevator.
I'm
A bit sneakier than the most, so I think. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no,
slip
I
a
mean
bit.
not all of you are gonna have been sort of gathered up, but we'll
I'm in custody currently. Like I assume those are guards in the top right corner.
those guys up there, they're
Yeah.
like dwarf mercenaries, yeah.
Okay, well, I would have basically turned myself in, seeing as I'm like a lawful, like obey
Here,
all the laws kind of monk.
let me help you out. Go. Okay, hang on. If you want to do this as your scene, I'm totally cool with that. Go top left instead. I'll put some guards up there, and we'll just have you being like sort of held, waiting for the patrol.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I would have been chatting up the guards about fighting prowess and whatnot while
Sure.
waiting.
And
waiting for
the
them to-
guards are like, oh well, we're not really trained in fist fighting or anything. Like they're pretty civil with you, considering like you've been arrested. They're used to sort of the trouble of these sort of districts and so forth. It's really not that big of a deal to them, and they know where you're headed, so they figure whatever. There's no reason not to talk to you.
But you see, when you're fist fighting, it's all about the finesse and the wrist.
I don't find myself in too many fist fights. I feel like this baby taps the rifle slung over his shoulder. It sort of keeps me out of that sort of trouble. People don't generally want to mess with you when you can riddle them full of holes.
I once met a man who carried a rifle such as this. Met him in a bar, actually. We got into a small bout, if you will, and I seem to have taken him out pretty easily.
Aren't that many people who carry rifles like this, unless you're fighting military men.
I believe the name was T.R. Stanton.
Well, I can't say I know too much about him, but, I don't know everybody in this place. Anyway, as this is going on, the rest of you who are kind of sheltered around the place look up from your various cups, let's say, and,
yeah, Kool-Aid.
You see coming in from the front door, several sort of guardsmen who are looking around. One of them has in his hands a scrap of paper, or that looks like it may have a list or descriptions or something on it. It looks pretty official, and he's got it open, reading all the kinds of maybe people that he's looking for. One of them splits off to kind of go in and gather the already captured prisoner and bring him along. But the other two sort of spread out and start searching around the place, checking everybody's IDs and stuff as they go around. Sort of people carry papers on them that are their identification papers, and you kind of got to have those with you. So this guy's going between tables, checking all the stuff.
I slumped down a little bit, trying to cover my face and shit. Just kind of oh god.
I'm not hiding at all. My guy's not hiding per se as much as he is trying to get away from he's one of those dudes who didn't want to murder anybody. It just happened, and now he's having a psychotic episode. All I wanted to do was help. And,
Poor guy.
My guy's just sitting on the desk with his hood kind of up, just enjoying his drink, trying to ignore it.
Trying to ignore it. The guard comes up to you, Duncan, the guy from the patrol, and says, "You're with us. You'll be on the next ship out of here."
Oh, what took you so long to get here?
We got other things to do besides round up miscreants like yourself. And he basically beckons to you and figures you're gonna come, peacefully because, well, you'll get shot if you run. You know what I mean? They're well known for sort of not thinking twice about using lethal force when problems arise.
All right. When he beckons me, I'll be like, "Well, lead the way, laddie. We're not getting any younger here."
Yeah, and he heads back towards the center of the room, kind of thing, and waits for his men to finish checking the identification. So this guy comes up to DDA's table, and he looks over at the pretty well dressed, elf for this particular region of the city, and says, "Identification papers, please. We're doing a search."
Quoi peut-il répéter?
Freaking elves. Identification papers, please. You speak common?
Fine, I will speak this lower class language. What is it you require?
Your papers. I want to know who you are.
C'est un mot à 5 lettres, je comprends. En tout cas. Here you are, officer.
takes the papers, reads over your information. I'm assuming these are like your legitimate papers. Like,
Yeah. I don't.
reads over the information and goes, "Wait a second. Weren't you involved in some recent problems around here?"
Problem? I don't
Oh, you
recall what
see-
you're talking about.
What does this say? Didier, whatever. It's spelt the same on the list. You're gonna be coming with us.
But officer, I don't understand why I have rights. I
There's a warrant-
need to know what
There's
am
a
I
warrant
being
out for
accused
your.
of?
There is a warrant out
No,
for
but
your
officer,
arrest.
I don't think you understand. I am from the fifth tier. Okay?
he
I
like
know the people.
as you keep like interrupting him, he like hammers his fist on the table and is like, "Interrupt me again, and I will break your arm, civilian."
Now, officer, I think that is a little excessive. This doesn't
It's-
seem like
it's
a thing
so
of an
hard.
officer of the law. Why are you threatening me? I've done
I have
nothing
your
wrong.
name on a
If
list.
I may interject, as I hear all this commotion in the top room, can I like stealthily kind of try to walk this way, kind of like unseen?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay,
Roll stealth.
stealth. I guess it's a D20.
Natural 20, he escapes.
I really
Well,
hope you fail away in every roll.
Oh, it's gonna happen. I don't have much dex. We're,
God, well, you're an orc.
I had
Yeah,
a 0 mod on
exactly.
Dex, and I'm wearing heavy armor, so
Yeah.
it's like stealth check is
Oh.
-7 on a good day.
Oh snap.
It was good, but unfortunately you didn't beat every perception check in the room. And the fellow just to your north there. Okay, stop moving.
Okay.
The fellow just to your north here, this guy, spots you kind of like sneaking, and he's like, "What's this suspicious bullshit? You know, like why isn't he just walking like a regular person?" And he like moves over to you. He's like, "Halt, citizen! Identification papers."
I run.
You run? Oh my god, yes. Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna finish with I'll get back to you in a sec. I'm gonna finish
Okay,
with
So-
Justin.
while I see him running, I'd be like, officer, there's a man running away.
The
Get
officer.
him
Really
away,
get
The,
distraction,
no,
everyone
not
run
the-
at the
not
same
the officer like reaches out to you, DJ, and like grabs your arm and sort of pulls you with him. You know, like enough of this shit. You know, I don't get paid enough for this, and sort of
Just
drags
cosplayer.
you. Drags
Exactly
you back to like the
Gets him
center
fed.
of the room. So just move yourself to the center of the room there. Meanwhile, you're running, and as soon as this guy sees you like bolt when he asks your identification papers, he whips out his rifle like and runs towards you like after you, like bringing it up and aiming.
I assume it makes like a noise or a click, like when it's like ready.
The gun?
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, you know, it's like a musket, so yeah. There's like a hammer and it'll click bang, you know.
Yeah. No. Okay. No, I just meant like a setting to like crank to make it ready.
No, it's like a musket, you know.
Oh, okay.
So he aims at you and fires in the crowded inn.
I scream like a little girl. I can't do it, and I won't.
What's your
Exactly.
what's your touch AC?
Swoon.
My touch is 13.
13. Oh, lovely. Okay.
Just got shot. How'd
So-
make you feel?
So this guy raises his musket,
actually.
fires at the back of you,
Stop.
and instead of a bullet like from the front of the gun, it's like a bola. He shoots like a fucking bola at your legs, and it like takes you out and flops you prone, like
I
immediately.
hear the gunshot and my dude just panics. He's just like, why everyone mean to crash?
He runs up and like pins you to the ground, like grabs your arms, like handcuffs you basically, and
Can I resist?
and then
Can I,
pulls
try
you
to
up.
Shrug him off?
Do you want to strike the guard? Okay,
Not
all right.
strike, but like just like shrug him off.
Sure. All right.
Like,
Try.
just as a
Make a strength
resistance.
check. Strength check.
I guess just my strength.
Just a strength mod. Yeah. Damn. This is like shit. I didn't expect this much resistance. All right.
What? It's like going down without something.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool. I like it.
Took a 40.
Duncan watches the crowd. Perez the jump in. Yes. Stop.
Where's was that your strength check there? 17 plus 3.
Yep.
Okay.
That's 20.
So the guard definitely has trouble with you. Like he's trying to handcuff you, and you're like flexing to like break out of it.
I'm
You
just
know,
like,
pushing yourself back up onto your feet. Another guard like nearby basically sees him struggling, like comes over and just whacks you in the face with like the butt of his rifle, like as you're trying to get up. You know, like
It appears he's
basically.
been butt stroked.
Basically, just like knocking you out cold with a butt stroke.
All
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
The whole time they were like struggling, Duncan was just screaming like advice to both of them, like like a UFC coach would.
Use your
It's like,
legs, you dumbass!
Yeah,
"You're
I'm just
using it
picturing
wrong.
like
You have to grip with your left hand and twist with the right."
I can just picture this like because I've seen wrestling coaches just be like, "Get him in the ass! Get him in the ass!" Which is a thing wrestling coaches yell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so
From
basically, you're just like knocked out cold
All right, cool.
by this.
Glad
It's
something
it's the only way they can like subdue you, basically. Okay, who else have we got in here? We got Kraz is
Still got me in the
Kraz
corner.
is still here, and one of the guards is like, everybody's getting arrested, sort of handcuffed back, and they're like, "Looks like it was our lucky day, boys. Like 3-1." And
Even amongst this commotion, it's pretty obvious that I'm just like wailing and like making. Like,
yeah,
the
and
innkeeper's
since you're
probably
making so
acting
much
up at this
noise,
point.
like one of the guys comes over and it's like, "Identification papers, civilian."
I just start like fumbling around and like I accidentally like pull off one of my pocket pouches or something, and like just like eventually I finally get it and I'm like shaking and like finally hand him my
Hands it
paper.
over, he reads it. He's like, "You're wanted for the death of a." Was it the mother or the kid that you killed?
The father.
The father. Okay. You're wanted for the death of a man on the 57th tier.
Oh shit.
You'll be
he's
coming
up.
with us.
Okay.
Just like grabs you again, just like grabs your arm and sort of leads you. Not expecting you to resist. You're like a sobbing old elf mess, so he's not like super worried about fighting you.
He's actually really not that old. He just looks old because he's hella ugly.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
That's awesome.
So they sort of like put you guys in what I can only describe as like a chain gang sort of shackles. Other than of course Orog, who is unconscious and who one of them is basically just like slung over his shoulder. This like huge orc motherfucker.
So you have to get like 3 people to carry me because he's just too
Can
big.
Can I tell the guards that I'll opt out of the cuffs and just walk with them? Because I've been civil up until now.
Of course, yeah, and he's not gonna like put up
That's
any
the whole-
problems. But they're worried about Kraz running and DDA just being more annoying, so they shackle
Yeah.
those two together.
Yeah,
Non,
so
mais
I
officer, je comprends pas. C'est comme... c'est quoi la politique ici? Vous pouvez pas juste faire ça. J'ai rien fait. J'étais en train de
Yeah,
faire mes choses à moi, dans mon coin.
Friggin' elf speak.
Seul.
I don't understand a word he's saying. And they,
If he's actually speaking elf, I would know what he's saying.
Yeah, you would.
yeah.
I'll
He's basically
I'll be
complaining.
examining
He's just complaining.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
like,
Examine
why am I
Orog
here?
the whole time.
What's up?
Like, I'll be examining Orog the whole time. Like, well, this is an interesting fellow, quite large. I think I could teach him. He would be a great fighter. Maybe someday he'll be on my team.
Yeah, maybe someday you'll form a team in the Brig.
Well,
We
well,
won't
there's
be
some
seeing you
features there
again.
too, laddie.
That's for sure. Someone like you might actually
Unconsciousness.
survive there, from what I heard. Anyway,
Survive. Boy, I'll thrive.
he, I was born in the darkness. Anyway, so you guys are sort of shepherded to, like, near the sort of dock areas of the city. You're put into basically holding cells for the night. And in those cells, of course, Alia and Isil are already present. You guys have been there maybe like 2 or 3 days, waiting for the next ship to the Brig, basically. And you guys, of course, know that the Brig is the wreck in the center of the world. It is the wreck of the 7th large city. It is used as a prison because surrounding it is desert. It's just desert for miles and miles and miles and miles around. There's just nothing. So they drop convicts off there, and then they let them do whatever they want. There's no sort of like imposed guard rule. There's no authority other than other prisoners there. It's just
Oh
it's
god.
just all the miscreants are dumped there.
I feel like Yin's character and mine would totally try to take like law and order in this place.
Oh, can
Like
I have
everybody
this,
form a line, single file to get your food.
I would be responsive to basically any command at this point, so I would fall in line with them.
Yeah. All right. So
Like I'm just on autopilot at this point.
So you guys spend the night in a holding cell, and in the morning, you're led out into what can only be described as like a juggernaut of an airship. It is like a big motherfucker of an airship. And I have a map for this. Oh, excuse me. Do 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 do.
Bless you, laddie.
Do do do. Do 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 do. Okay.
I'm just like out, so I don't get to hear any of this. Oh, that's
Just knock the crap out.
I wanted at least one person to do it.
Yeah, I thought you probably would.
Hmm.
Okay.
I just come down from the eyeless sky. I'm no very big and I'm awfully shy. Part of the song I'm singing now.
Indeed.
C'est une chanson commune.
There we go. Okay, so you guys are all on the ship there. Can you see that?
I'm not on it yet.
Yes, you are.
I'm still in the bar.
I'm still in the bar as well.
I was once in the bar.
There you go, guys.
Loading! Ah, yeah, ship!
You see yourselves there?
Yep.
Who's this feller?
So,
I see darkness.
the captain of the ship is there as you guys are led on. You're not the only prisoners being led on, obviously. There are other people in the holding cells who are, at the same time being deposited onto the ship. And
Am I still not shackled?
And
Just
so
like
forth.
unconscious?
I know, you woken up, and you've all been shackled together for this because they can't have you running amok on the ship.
Right.
But they lead you, the captain sort of nods and watches his men move you guys around, and they sort of lead you, okay, just follow along, guys, over here.
'Kay.
They lead you over here to, like, the stairs that lead down into the center of the ship. Hang on, I will do this for you. No, stop moving, stop moving, stop moving.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Ah, map transition.
Yeah, don't.
Somebody run. You can't move you if you can't get you.
Oh no,
Ah,
you got me anyways.
So you guys are led down into the sort of bowels of the ship, so to speak, and the guards lead you further down this way, guys. Over here, over here, over here, and down the corridor, and deposit you at random in a couple of sites. Don't, if I move you, don't move yourself after
Well,
that.
I was holding my.
I know.
You can place me anyway.
Just put him in there. Put him in there. There we go. So you guys are like put into like transport holding cells. You know the trip from approximately where Harn is now to the Brig is probably like 8 hours to 9 hours of airship travel. It's definitely not close, but it's not super far either. You're kind of in the center of the world at the moment. So you're on your way to the prison that nobody has ever been released from, and that generally has no rules, other than if you live, you live.
You can't really be released.
So, as you're sitting in these holding cells, you can hear from the cells like on the various sides of you, because there's like a couple of cells to your south and then a couple to your north. You hear from the cells the whispering of other people talking to each other. You can hear like somebody's crying.
That's probably me.
But you can see those of you. I don't know who can see this girl. Who has line of sight on her?
I do.
So Duncan can. Anybody else?
I can.
No. Well, she looks over. She looks over across through the bars, sort of holding the bars. This elven girl who's sort of painted up in a very sort of druidic fashion. She looks over through the bars, holding her hands on the bars. She goes, "Hey, so what did they get you for?" Over at Duncan, because she can actually see him.
Ah, well, see, I took fancy in a little bit of a backyard brawl, and well, apparently it was not sanctioned. So they've taken me in. Well, I went in willingly, actually.
Oh, well, you wait, you came willingly? You let them take you? You let them bring you to this place?
Seems like a fine place for me. I'm in for a brawl any day.
She sort of rolls her eyes like, what a crazy guy, you know. And she peeks out of the bars and like tries to look over at like the other cells, seeing if anybody else is there that she can talk to, because she's looking for a conversation, but she doesn't want to talk to this crazy motherfucker anymore, who is obviously like off his rocker, wanting to be here. Oh God.
Oh, if you're looking for a good time, Lash, I could probably show you a thing or two. Look like you've got some fine, strong limbs there.
She raises her eyebrow at him, and she's like, "A good time? You're thinking about sex right now? We're in holding cells, headed to prison."
Lassie, you're much too scrawny for me. I was talking more of a good grapple fest or a fisticuffs match.
Yes, those definitely don't sound like sex when you say them like that. Anyway, she sort of leans over and goes, "Is there anybody else in here who isn't insane?"
I just run up to the bars. And then I go back to sulking.
Right.
Locked in here with this loony.
Well, I guess at least I have a cell to myself.
I kind of
I was
come
assuming
up
there are
and
others inside the cells.
poke
Just
my
not
head through the bars here and be like, well, not insane, but I probably deserve to be in here.
Oh, and what did you do? She says with a sort of morbid curiosity. She's obviously sizing up like potential allies for like the time to come, if you know what I mean. She's clearly looking for help.
I'm afraid I can't tell you. I might have to kill you.
Oh God.
She goes, "All right, well, I mean, I don't think that's too much of a problem. We're going to arrive and probably be shanked to death anyway."
True enough.
At the mention of being shanked to death, Kraz just goes into an even deeper episode.
The poor guy is just
I kind of
bawling
like-
his eyes out.
I kind of like point to him and be like, he'll probably be the first.
Yeah,
And then just go down and sit down.
Sort of sounds like it. She goes, "I'm Karen, by the way." Karen, like Karin, rather than
Karine?
Karine, yeah.
Orog's the name.
Orog, ogre ancestry, orc ancestry, I guess, the name like that.
You would assume.
And well, I can't see you, but you certainly sound like you might be. She says, just so you know, it's not all one-sided and stuff. You can tell me what you're in here for. I sort of have been stealing a lot of small things, just little things recently. And well, the shopkeeper started to notice, and I think he knew it was me. So I haven't done anything quite as brutal as, you know, if I tell you I'll have to kill you, but here I am anyway.
Yes, well, I have been responsible for many a people coming to the Brig, so I know how luck is unfavorable for some.
Were you a guard or something? Were you law enforcement?
No, nothing like that.
She sort of looks around for anybody else who's sort of chiming into the conversation, if there's anybody. The guards are totally ignoring you guys. They really don't give a shit
Just
what
like,
you have to say.
why are you speaking? I'm trying to sleep.
You have a very interesting accent there.
So we still have all our
C'est parce
equipment,
que
right?
moi, je parle en bonne
Not
langue.
at this current juncture. It was seized from you as you were brought on board. However,
I have
it
all
will.
mine.
However, what
Ah,
you
tu
know is
parles
that
de-
it will be returned to
Le
you when
français,
you're
je veux
like
dire le elfe.
thrown off. You know.
Have we been actively informed of where we're going?
Yeah, I mean, anybody from Harn, anybody from any of the cities would know that they don't need to tell you. Like
Okay.
it's common knowledge that the Brig is where you would be ending up at the end of sort of being convicted of a crime, being accused of a crime.
All right.
So, if you guys want to sort of talk amongst
Actually-
yourselves, you may. However, I
I'll try to get the attention of the guard. That's
Okay.
Passing around.
sure.
Guard, could you, come over here for a second?
What do you want?
I desired to know. I know the tier I was on. My actions were legitimate. I don't entirely understand where I went wrong.
See, problem for you was you messed with someone with a little more influence than yourself, and people like that don't take kindly to being beat on for no reason at all.
He was a necromancer. It's impossible that my actions were incorrect. The law
We didn't
states
see-
that all necromancy is illegal.
I don't
A bit
believe
of
we
a
saw
tier,
any
Elton.
evidence of necromancy, though I wasn't one of the ones to respond. I heard you beset yourself upon some poor nobleman. Just rabid little lizard you are.
He was trying to escape the scene. Of course I couldn't let him leave.
I chime in, and ugly too.
Just give it up, lizard boy. Doesn't matter what we say at this point. I kind of just like put my arms up above my head. And kind of, like, sit
The guard
back.
looks over at Issel and says, "Next time, don't attack nobles." Oh wait, you won't be here next time.
Well, at least the brig has some method of progress.
Well, if you see, convicts gathering together and stabbing each other for sport as progress, I suppose. What you guys do know, however, is a lot of what goes on, a lot of what is talked about about the Brig, and a lot of what is said about the Brig is conjecture. You know, people don't generally go in and then come out. Even law enforcement, like even guards and military men, don't really spend time there. It's all sort of like, well, if you put a bunch of rapists together, of course they're going to be completely useless at forming, rules and
So-
regulations.
So really, it's just like a band camp, and they're just doing like macaroni art, but nobody knows about it because nobody actually goes there to find out.
They're all actually, maybe it's
Everyone's
like a utopia, and nobody
Yeah.
leaves on purpose.
Yeah, they're just like they're all hanging out with like an oasis in there, and everybody's like, "I'm not going there," but there's like water everywhere.
Best kept secret of
Like-
prisoners.
It's like so awesome. Why would we ever leave? Like, that's what it's actually like.
I mean, this is all I'm saying. Is like it's mostly like fear mongering and conjecture.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well,
That's
like,
pretty much all I have to say about that.
So the guard wanders off once you've like finished talking to him, and he has his like final say, ha ha ha. As he walks by Karen, like she tries to do a similar thing, like, "Hey, I'm innocent, like I didn't do anything. Let me out, And he goes, "Yeah, likely story," and just keeps walking. Like haven't heard that one before. So if you guys want to interact with each other, this is the time to do it. Otherwise, I'll keep things rolling.
Did they take my pipe and tobacco away from me?
They took everything that you own pretty much until you arrive,
Oh, come on.
other than
Did
like
they
basic
actually, like,
clothing.
did
Clothes,
they actually
right?
dig through my clothing? Because that would be
Roll butt
very.
naked.
No, I mean
Alright.
they probably didn't dig through your pockets or anything, but
Okay.
Awesome.
That's where my pipe was.
if what you want to do is smoke some tobacco, I really don't care. If you want to,
I'm just wondering if they found my familiar because one of them is probably poisoned if they did.
no, I don't think
So,
I don't think they will have found your familiar.
Okay,
I'm just gonna use my prehensile tail and reach into my garments and grab my pipe and tobacco and just have a good long smoke.
Okay. Just sitting there in the cell smoking works for me.
Yep.
Right. So I'm gonna just strike a conversation with this awkward-looking fellow here. He obviously doesn't look like he's a type of person that would be caught in prison for the usual reasons anyways.
Yeah.
I kind of go and speak to him in Elven, but I'll say it in...
Yeah,
In
I'll
English.
keep it
Just
in
so
English
everyone
for this
feels-
conversation.
Yeah, just so like everyone understands. So, you don't look like you belong here. Kind of like seizing up his like clothes, like, his fancy garments and like jewels on his fingers.
Well, no. I am not a criminal. I'm just doing that for the character.
Mhm.
And you seem like you fit right.
Yeah, you could say that.
But
So I'm guessing you're from the higher tiers, eh?
yes, slightly higher than you, I assume.
Well, you would assume much.
Yes, I suppose I would, just looking at you. But you speak Elven, so at least there's that. You are better than most of the scum in this boat. This is a boat, right?
Yeah.
Yes, in this
It's
boat.
like an airship, yeah.
You see, you at least could understand that. How do you say? Embezzlement is not exactly. I would not say it is something that I have done, but I could not say it is something that I have not considered.
Very familiar. Well,
In fact, if you have been keeping up with political news, those of you who are in this boat, if you've been keeping up with political news, you may actually recognize DTA as the sort of ambassador to the various outlying elvish communities that still like live in the like
I have knowledge
small
and ability, would
verdant
that help?
oases. If you have knowledge and ability, roll it and you might know who he is.
Okay. There you go.
You do indeed recognize him. You know who he is, and you know the scandals he's been involved in recently with the using and spending of money that doesn't belong to him, and generally being the, you would say, unpopular sort of noble.
Just roll knowledge and ability, I guess, if you want to know. So, well, Didier, you might have to rely on these scum, as you would say. Because I don't think you're the type who could survive in this place alone.
Ah, well, there is. I see. Well, you also assume things because although I know I am better than them, and I'm glad you have heard of me. We know that there is a reason that I can do what I do, and these scum, although I do not always approve, can be quite useful sometimes. And then I kind of leave it at that.
Okay.
Turn
Turn
over.
over, try and sleep like the couple of hours that you've got, like ignoring this stupid orc person. Anybody else got anything they want to do, or
I'll
okay?
turn to my cellmate.
Ah, I forgot to mention this. I am a Sil, and you are?
I am a Leia, Fairfeather. And I do have to say, you do look like one piece of golden hunk, you lizard boy, you.
I'm going to cringe at that.
Yeah.
What are you in for again?
Well, I was looking for higher clientele on higher levels. I didn't necessarily have the papers to be going higher than I was.
Nobody likes pigeons.
I see. Well, if half the stories I've heard of this brig are true, it is probably best to get as many of us together as possible as we make our leave. We
Yes,
do not
I
want to die immediately or to each other.
don't necessarily think I'm going to be making very many clientele at this place. So that sounds like a good idea, lizard boy.
A solid wager. We shall wait until we get off the boat to see if the others are willing to follow.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that elven boy. He,
There are two elves. One's just too ugly to realize he's an elf.
well, I can't exactly hear the wailing one. So I'm talking about.
Oh, you can hear him.
You can probably hear him.
Well, I hear
like,
him, but I can't
the
see
whole
him.
bottom layer of the ship can hear friggin' Kraz just crying.
I don't necessarily know he's. Well, I guess I've seen him before, but elf boy across from us, the snooty elf man next door doesn't seem like he's too willing to cooperate with anybody.
It is fine. I'm sure he'll change his mind when we get there. He needs the help anyways. He probably doesn't have many friends otherwise.
I suppose you're right, and I don't think we'll be needing any friendship to survive this place, anyways.
I'll shrug and go about my way, like trying to get the others' attention and like,
Hey, are you willing to join us after we are freed?
Next door, of course, Karen, who's like been listening to the various conversations going on, and bright-eyed and sort of bushy-tailed at the expectation of alliance. She responds, "Of course, yeah. You want to make sure we're all sort of safe together? That's fine by me."
Excellent.
She sort of hears you through the wall rather than if you know what I mean.
well, it'd be kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know what you look like, sort of thing. She can hear the hiss in your voice, but that's about it.
They both just kind of walk out through the bars of their cells, like meet in the hallway, like, "Hey, you want to join together?" Yeah, and just go back to their room.
You forgot fist pump as
Fist
they
pump.
meet.
the doors were
Oh,
never
yeah.
locked, man.
It's true, yeah.
It's just all a good faith.
That
thing.
many guards. they
It's
wouldn't
all a
need
good
to.
thing.
Good faith.
Anybody else got anything they want to do?
I kind of go up and because I'm like leaning. I don't know if you can see my character. He's like here.
Yeah.
But I kind of lean my head through just to kind of see them and be like, the more people we are together would increase the likelihood of survival. And kind of go back here, like back to my sitting.
So that's an agreement, I guess.
Basically, I'm just assuming they're all my allies right now.
Fair enough. Okay, so you guys continue to sort of chat it up and various things as you make your way towards the brig, and you guys eventually arrive after a little while. Kilroy's trying to send me documents at the same time here. Can't just like.
It's just a picture of my familiar. That's it.
Okay, hang on.
I'm not actually bringing it out or anything. I'm just
Oh,
yeah.
it failed to send anyway. Alright, so, you guys make your way towards, the brig, and you can see, there are small porthole, like, esque things in the side of the cells that you can see the desert sort of expanding beneath you and so on, and as you draw closer you can see the sort of windswept brass and copper ruin of this city, like a mountain in the desert almost. This place, just huge. As big as Harn itself, though it seems sort of more dilapidated and crumbled, obviously, because there's no power, there's none of the magic that fuels the engines. It's sort of slanted to one side a little bit, like everything's sort of diagonally skewed. The ship pulls up. The ship pulls up on a sort of out-jutting wooden platform that looks like it's been, crafted by the hands of unskilled craftsmen to present this kind of opportunity for ships. And I have to move your guys now.
Teleportation, go!
Plane shift.
You guys are led out onto the deck of the ship. As you do, of course, you merge into the blazing sun high above your head, like sort of in the midday. As you climb the stairs, each of you is handed back the sort of bundle of your equipment, the things that you had on you when you were arrested.
I check my katana, make sure it's okay.
And there's a cleric at the top of the path that basically goes like, you know, "Gods be with you" sort of thing as you are pushed onto the makeshift dock. Here we go. Let me.
Can I respond to the cleric?
Of course you can. You can do whatever you
Just
want.
be like, "There's no god here."
I snort derisively.
Okay.
At this point, I've stopped. You know, like I've gotten over it at this point, and I'm just kind of like I'm not over it exactly, but I'm just kind of like staring blankly and following
You're
the crowd,
not
essentially.
crying so much as you're just like, all right.
He's
whatever,
gone into
fine."
the
Yeah.
acceptance phase.
Exactly, the acceptance phase. There
No,
you go.
no longer denial, no longer like weeping and crying. Acceptance.
I need to get Karen. 1 second. From the ship. Copy. Paste. Okay, so I don't need to do anything fancy. There you go. You guys are in the bottom right of this map.
Whoa. It's like rubble everywhere.
Yeah, the place is pretty much wrecked up. I mean, you know, through the ages of time and so forth. But anyway, you guys are pushed out onto the dock.
Are the purple dudes guards?
The purple dudes are just like roguey guys.
It's
They're
my mage
opponents.
friend. Mage friend.
rogue
mages.
mages.
Mages. Sneak attack mage.
Anyway, you guys are pushed out onto sort of the makeshift dock, and the guards step off the platform and back onto the ship. And the captain of the boat basically says, you know, "Enjoy your stay. We'll be back with another load in the next month or so."
I'm currently glued to Duncan, by the way, because he's the only person I've seen today who hasn't like actively tried to harm me.
I don't know. Has anyone else actively except for the guards?
The guard and like the 2 people that I've seen, basically.
Are any of the others of you getting the connection to your server has been interrupted
Yes.
on Roll20?
Yeah.
I got it once.
I've been getting it
I didn't
on
get
and
it.
off for the last couple of minutes, so hopefully it'll
Yeah.
go away. But we'll see.
I'm not really
I've
seeing
noticed.
any current problems.
Me neither.
but-
And
okay,
I'm seeing
fine.
I'm seeing your characters move. Like Keanu, are you moving that right now? Like
I had it. I'm just touching it. Yeah.
no, just touch it more so that I can see if the response is for.
Okay.
Can you,
I'm,
can you
I'm
see
near
my
the
character?
barrels.
Okay, I can see you guys moving. Perfect. All right, we're fine. So, as you guys are pushed onto the dock, one of the guys who's standing by the door, sort of, you know, picking his nails with a dagger, wanders forward and says, "Welcome to the great city of Garanth. Of course, known as the Brig to everybody else, though you might not want to tell the boss that. Been running this place for a little while, and you'll be right to keep on your best behavior when you're in here. Of
Who's
course,
saying this? One of the rogue guys?
what?
One of the rogue guys is saying this?
Yeah, the guy who stepped forward there, the purple guy,
Okay.
steps forward and says,
I don't see anyone.
of course, we don't suffer anybody who can't carry their own weight, doesn't do their own work, and can't hold their own means of survival. Nobody's going to be holding your hand, but we aren't complete savages. Your stay won't be as awful as those have said it might be. We don't kill anybody here and drink their blood. We don't, well, what else did they say about us? We don't, there are no ghosts that haunt the lower levels. You know, the ceilings aren't going to collapse in on your heads. And bloodthirsty gangs of murderers, well, we do have those, but isolated pockets. So he sort of looks about the group and wonders, you know, like if anybody's going to speak up as sort of, you know, in charge of this particular batch of miscreants, or if he's going to have to sort of
I'll step forward.
direct them individually. Okay, so the kobold steps forward and he goes, "Oh, the little one. All right. So, what
Yes.
you going to say, little man?"
You see, we don't know very much about this town, the Brig, but it is unfortunate to hear that there are so many problems, such as murders. Is there anything we can do to help?
Oh, you want to help? Jumping straight in to get the good graces of those in charge. Well, I like your candor, good sir. I like your candor. We, of course, are the ones in charge. He points to sort of a badge that he has on his chest that looks like it's made out of, like, you know, rusted metal and stuff that he's, like, twisted together. But it's of a black color, like it's been singed, and there are certain, like, lighter spots on it. And he says, there's a couple of different factions in this place. Some a little more rowdy than others. Got their own sections, as you would imagine. Borders, so to speak, just like the tiers of the regular cities. We have our top dogs and our bottom feeders. Now, we're the top dogs. We are the magpies. Black and white, them's the colors. Don't be thinking just because of the name that we're some kind of pissweak band, you know. Though most of them go by some kind of bird around here, like red ravens, so forth. Yeah. So, if you want to help, I'll have you talk to the boss, or at least one of the boss's representatives, and I'm sure he'll have something for you to do.
That is quite excellent. I should probably ask the others first, though.
Oh, you in charge here? You all speaking for all of them?
Orog speaks for himself.
Yeah,
But
we get that a lot.
But your offer is kind.
Hey, we're not one for healthy bodies, let's say. Always better to have them on our side than the others.
Indeed.
So, for those of you who are pushing by and not speaking to the guy at the front or the other couple of guys there, you make your way in, and you see before you sort of like, you know, the bronze coppery kind of flooring of like the older floors of cities and so forth. It's very much sort of run down. There's big gaps in it and so forth, and sand is sort of blown in through the openings and gathered in little dunes along the floor. There are a couple of tables over to one side where there are, you know, some grizzled-looking fellows drinking and watching like the noobs coming in. Clearly with the eyes of those who are going to, you know, take advantage of anybody that they can. These are clearly the, you know, less than reputable members of the current society that has been established here. Though probably, I wouldn't bank on anybody defending you were they to attack you, because you're not allied with anybody at the current juncture. You know, you don't have your own group. At the top there, you can see if you're peeking around the corner, and I know you can see it because we don't have any like dynamic lighting, so it's fine. You can see that there's a guy, an orcish fellow, full-blooded orc, manning a sort of like a water station. It looks like he's got like, you know, quite a large container there with like water in it, and he's sort of ladling it out into smaller like bottled like flasks and stuff. And he, as people pass by, he sort of hands it out, like to those who need it, I guess. He doesn't appear to have any symbols on him that would, you know, mark him as a member of a particular group. Just that he seems to be handing out flasks of water, you know, resource, I suppose. Anyway, those of you who are conversating, if you wish to keep conversating, there is.
All right. Then I will continue.
I'm merely listening because I heard him say, "Bring you to the boss." So I'm kind of standing here next to this gold.
Yeah. Okay.
Your group wouldn't happen to have any sort of book of laws or codexes, yes?
Nothing that we got written down or anything. It's not really our style. Sort of a live and let live system at this point of time. mess with ours and we'll mess with yours. You know the type.
I see. That's quite unfortunate. You should probably try to get a book of laws out at some point.
You looking to come in here and organize the place? Well, maybe the boss will have something for you, like I said. I'm just the guy who greets the new arrivals.
Another question. How can we tell for sure if yours is the dominance group or if yours is a pure group?
Simple. The boss lives on tier 1.
Only knowing the laws of Harn, I'm gonna be kind of like,
Oh, okay.
It's like, of course, yeah.
It's at the top.
Yeah.
I
Symbolically,
nod to the dude and then
physically.
just follow the lizard guy.
Okay, so you're just tagging along with Issel?
Yeah.
Cool. Karen sort of
He
does...
seems to be diplomatic.
Karen sort of does the same, you know, like tagging along with you guys. Making sure not to, like, stray too far from you. Like I said, she's kind of got, like, the tribal, like, druid paint going. Like, she's clearly part of some, you know, religious, you know, nature thing. And you're not sure sort of, like, how she's taking it. She seems sort of reserved about the whole idea of this place and so forth. Okay, Duncan, you look like you're doing something down there in Kras, so...
Oh, I was just basically when I see the guys down there, the less reputable types.
Yep.
I'm always one of those guys, or Duncan's always one of those guys where he walks up and, you know, he sizes up the biggest guys in the joint.
Oh yeah, he
So-
does like the whole look you in the eyes until you back down sort of thing.
Well, he sizes them up basically like if I got into a grapple fest with this guy, would it be a good match or not? Because he's always looking for like the next big thrill of a fight.
Mhm.
So he just kind of like sits down at the table, just kind of like every now and then just looking at him, like looking him up and down, like checking out like the muscle structure, like
Yeah,
been
I
working
mean
out the legs.
these guys don't look particularly like brawny. You know, it's sort of more like the haggard veteran look. You know, like they've seen a bunch of knife fights, and like one of them's got like a scar that goes down his cheek and like cuts into his little beard. You know, and the other one, you know, he's drinking something out of a flask that could only have been some sort of like homemade terrible alcohol. You know, like from the way he's like responding to drinking it, like there's no beer or anything here. You can't make ale, so it's just like, you know, motor oil moonshine sort of stuff. And as one of them sort of sees you looking over at them, he looks over at you in return and sort of meets eyes with you and goes, "What you looking at, fresh meat?"
oh, just checking out you guys over there at that table. I've been in the fighting business for a while now, and it's always nice to see a couple of veterans of the game, if you will.
Oh, the fighting business, huh? Let me give you some advice. Keep your eyes on the ground, and you won't lose your eyes.
Well, actually, I like to keep my eyes on my opponent's fists, that way I can properly dodge and counter-grapple them.
What are you, professor of punches? Giving lessons?
Huzzah! That is a funny joke, sir. Professor of Punches. If there was a school for that, I would be teaching it every day of the week.
Oh,
People
would
like you.
Oh, would you now?
People like you would definitely be joining the classes.
With your like current declarations, they like sort of stand up and move away from their tables. Or their tables, sorry. Just these three guys. The other guy's sort of ignoring you. He doesn't give a shit about anything that's happening. He seems to be just focused on his own thing. And they sort of, you know, do the whole, like, make a circle little bit around you.
I'll tell you what, sir.
Like, oh, so you think you're the teacher around here, do you? Well, let me give you some advice here. Class is in session. You know,
First, I
knuckle
would like
crack.
to propose something to you fellas. Which one of you is the strongest, would you wager?
Oh, you're looking to fight one-on-one. Well,
I'm just looking for a good contest is all.
all right then. Guy stands forward. The guy who you've been talking to, you know, who like met your eyes previously, stands forward and sort of does one of these like.
I just picture him being like, "I'm gonna slice you."
So bad.
walk slowly over to the sand and
It's-
kind of do one of those gladiator moves where he like gets the sand on his hand so he can get a proper grip.
The other two guys sort of take up the table that you'd been at, and the leader steps forward.
Taking a look at Kraz still on my arm. Might want to step back, laddie. This could get tense over here. This fella looks like he might know a skill or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, step away, scrawny one. I'm gonna teach your boyfriend a lesson.
I just kind of like take my tail and like slap the ground, just like getting into position.
Wait, what
He,
fucking race are you again?
He's a tiefling.
Tiefling.
Okay, that makes
The
sense.
guy
with
the guy
tail now.
takes like a knife out of the bandolier of knives that he has like across his chest, takes a dagger out and goes, flips it around in his hand a little, like all the tricky sort of like aha haha I'm so nimble sort of tricks, and says, last chance to back out. Say please and I won't cut your throat.
I'm going to intimidate him, or attempt to.
But with what words, actions?
Hold on, with an action. Just wait.
Okay, I
gonna
need
roll it first.
details.
When he says that he's going to slit his throat, I kind of go into an offensive position.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch myself in the face, dealing non-lethal, mind you, and I'll roll the damage for it.
Okay.
I'm going to literally punch myself in the face and just grimace at him, and tell him, "Bring it on, laddie! I've seen better fighters than you in the lowest tiers of Han."
So intimidate. You punch yourself in the face. Roll the non-lethal damage for punching yourself in the face. 8. How much health do you have?
It's all non-lethal. I have
Just
plenty.
knocks
don't worry.
himself
No,
unconscious.
but how? What is your total hit
How
points?
much?
12.
Okay,
good.
so you have 4
Uh,
non-lethal left before you get
4
knocked unconscious.
non-lethal. We're good.
Lovely.
Don't worry.
Actually, if he takes 5 damage, he goes unconscious. So
What?
You just
yeah, that's how non-lethal works.
Yeah.
5 non-lethal, really?
Yes. No, if you take 5 lethal, you'll go unconscious. If you take 5 non-lethal, you'll go unconscious too.
Oh, from here?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
like
Okay, that's
fatigue
fine.
yourself.
All right.
First, fine.
Anyway, so he watches you punch yourself in the face, and he goes, "You're crazy, man." Like, he goes, and then when you say like I fought lower, fighters of the city of Harn, he goes, "But we ain't in Harn anymore." And he pulls out like I said, he has his knife in his hand, and roll initiative.
They're fixated on Duncan, right?
Yeah.
Not on me.
Oh yeah, they're watching
God.
the fight.
Okay.
I like
So
how
I'm
you-
sneaking over here, like, over in this direction, and then as the fight ensues, when Duncan goes to grapple, I cast Ear-Piercing Scream. It's inaudible to anyone except for the target.
Okay, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Just yell at him.
What? Who are you yelling at? What is going on?
The person who Duncan is grappling.
Okay, did you
I'm-
roll your initiative?
No, I did not. Do you
no,
want me to?
I meant Brock Basha.
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
I don't see it. It hasn't come
I
up
don't
for
see
me.
it either.
Yeah, because of
It's-
the connection thing.
This is
Connection
the connection
interrupted.
thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Rolled a 4.
Oh, there's always some kind of problem, isn't there?
I mean,
rolled
what I
a
meant to say was I
19.
rolled a 20. Nat 20. Haha!
You rolled a 4. Okay, I'll just put it in there and we'll keep going. So I got a 12.
You go get
So
sad.
the initiative up. So he's gonna go first.
Shank.
He's gonna step up to you and slice at you with his dagger.
Shank.
What is your AC, good sir?
14.
14. Okay.
Awesome.
Good shit.
How do I have
He
more
hits
AC
you
than
and deals 2 damage. Your turn.
Alright, still
So
good.
he like strikes his knife like across your forearm, sort of like you got him up.
Alright. I still can't see the turn order, so... Obviously.
It's your turn.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
disconnect.
know. I'm just gonna assume that.
I'm just gonna do it by voice and just tell me what you roll and stuff because you can see your own rolls. Like we're just gonna like wing it super hard here because I want.
I rolled a 19 for my initiative. Can I do something as like a combination with his move? Like, can I do it at the exact same time?
Sure.
Okay.
If he prepared an action ahead of time.
Yeah,
he
I'm
would've
preparing
gone
this.
What to do? All right, I'm gonna grapple him, because that's what I do.
Okay.
Does that beat a CMP?
I don't know because I don't know what that is.
17.
Oh, I gotta check. I don't know his CMD off by heart, but actually I think it probably does.
Well, CMD is bad plus strength plus dex.
Oh,
plus 10.
yeah. You beat a CMD. You beat a CMD with a 17. Lost your camera, Ian.
Yeah, I refreshed.
Okay.
All right. I see things.
Yeah, I see things as well.
You want to roll for me? Test rolls, guys. Just roll d20, see if it comes.
9.
Oh, I see the 17. I see. Okay, it comes in a little bit late, but I see it. Perfect.
All right.
Okay. So, you grapple him, and you successfully grapple him. So
That's what I do.
And that's your turn, right? So then it's
Yeah.
So at the same time, I use ear-piercing scream goes off on him.
Okay. What does that do?
It does 4 damage, and he needs to make a Fortitude save, or he is dazed for 1 round.
Okay, he's gonna make a fort save.
It's a DC 16.
He didn't make his save, so he's dazed for 1 round, and he takes 4 damage. You said?
Yes.
Okay.
The save would have also cut the damage in half, but he didn't make it.
Okay. So, he's grappled, so he has to try and get out of grapple, or he can actually just attack you because he has a light weapon. So I actually think he can just like attack you with a dagger. Is that?
He's gonna take penalties for that, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's denied his dexterity, and he's gonna take minuses, but I think he can just attack you in there with the dagger. So
Yeah, he's not immobilized or anything.
I'm gonna do it. He fails to strike you. Your turn.
Okay, I'm going to immediate action remove the grapple because that's what I do, and I'm going to stunning fist.
Okay.
What?
So,
Okay.
Monk.
I mean, unless I can do stunning fist in a grapple, I'm not sure. since
You can,
excellent.
I'm pretty sure.
Doing it.
Don't know if you can.
I'm not sure either. But if I can, I'm doing it.
I don't think you can, mostly because it's
Because
just
it's like a special ability.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So you let him go, and he sort of reels back, and then you try and punch him. Like
Stunning fist to the face.
So roll
So,
it.
Fist of stunningness. I see a 16.
16.
16 is good.
And so the fortitude saving throw would be 10 plus wisdom modifier 4, so 14.
Okay, so he's going to make a fort save. And so he doesn't make his fort save.
Okay, so he drops everything he's holding.
Okay.
Loses his dex.
So he
and
drops
loses
his
dex bonus.
So he drops his dagger, and that's it. And stunning fist, is he stunned, or is it just he drops stuff?
Stun for until my next turn.
Okay, so it's his turn and your turn.
Yep. And then I'm going to punch him twice in your face.
Flurry blows.
And then what's the penalty for a second hit? It's like a -2 or -4, right?
What?
Minus 5.
Are you looking to like dual wield? You don't have flurry,
Dual
so
wield.
Fist?
you're looking to
Yeah,
just
I can't
punch.
do fist?
You can't unless you're
That's fine.
doing a dual attack, which is like
It's a full round.
Minus
right?
eight.
it's
Minuses.
you're taking like -4 or -8.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
minus
fine.
4
Sure.
on your main hand,
Roll then.
and a -8 on your offhand.
For non-trained to dual
yeah.
wielding, yeah.
Yeah,
10 and 13. He's denied his dexterity bonus to AC, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I
and
felt for that.
You're still no good.
Ah, damn it.
He's wearing like leather armor. You know?
Oh, he and takes a -2 penalty, as well as loses dex bonus. Is it any good for that 13 then?
Yeah, the 13's good.
Okay. I
It's
totally
like,
forgot
oh,
that.
it's like you're
He-
punching like this.
Damn it.
Guys, for those of you who are asking, he can't flurry of blows because he's a Totori monk. They don't have flurry of blows. They get improved
Just
grapple
not
and stuff.
worry. Yep.
Somebody's dog is whining like super loud.
That is my dog.
Oh, that works.
Your dog or your daughter? That's I'm not sure
so
which one I
five,
heard.
so 5 damage to him.
Yes.
Okay, and now it's his turn, and he doesn't have anything in his hands, but he does have a belt full of...
Wait, he's dazed.
That's fine. Daze doesn't prevent him from doing things.
It does.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
it doesn't.
actually, that's
No, it
exactly
doesn't.
what-
It's like -1, isn't it? To like a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. That's it.
Oh, that's dazzled.
No, the creature is unable to act normally. A dazed creature can take no actions, but has no penalty to AC.
Okay, well, how long is he dazed for? Because he failed his
just one round.
Okay, but he's already been one round
been
after
one.
your thing
He
happened.
was
Oh.
stunned and
Well,
He
dazed.
got
then
stunned and
in
dazed
one
on the
round.
same round, so he's fine now.
Okay.
So he draws another dagger from his bandolier, and because it's a bandolier, he gets like swift action draw from
guy.
the bandolier, and he stabs at you.
This guy.
I know this guy, right? Seriously,
It's one guy.
seriously, bro. And he misses because he's bad. Duncan.
I'm just going to attempt to punch him again and
Okay.
fail.
And fail. It's his turn. He's gonna stab at you.
Damn it. This
Okay,
guy.
while all this excitement's
What-
happening,
what's-
I'm gonna
what's
go
your-
check out the water.
Okay. What's your
14.
AC? 14. I hit you. Yes.
3 damage, and then you're out.
2 damage.
All right.
You are
doing
currently
this.
staggered.
It's okay. No, he's taken 4 and he had 5, so he's
Yes,
not-
I know.
Isn't
5 is what would knock him out. 4 is staggered. He's at
Oh, yeah,
effective
you're
0.
Right. You're right. Duncan,
Staggered.
which means you can only take 1 action, move or standard, basically.
Well, they haven't
Yeah.
really been moving, so it doesn't
So
really
yeah, you
change
can just
anything.
you can just stand there and punch his lights out. Like,
My rolls.
oh, your rolls are so bad.
The rolls will kill me.
All right. Oh, okay.
I think he's gonna drop me.
I actually hit you again.
Yeah.
And I
Even one damage.
I
takes me
remember
unconscious.
I remember mentioning that I'm not going to be pulling my punches so much. So you take 4 damage, and you are unconscious. Like he hits he stabs you across, like slashes you across the forearm, gets punched in the face, like stunning fisted, dazed. Then as he recovers, draws a dagger, stabs at you again, misses. You swing back, punch. He just like steps aside and shoves the dagger like into your like collarbone area and like pushes you over, basically. So Duncan is like unconscious and on the ground.
Amazing.
And this guy's like like right in Duncan's face, like the phlegmiest, like snottiest possible
That's a reach attack.
loogie.
Have him roll it.
No, you're helpless. You're unconscious. I'll coup de grace you with spit if you want, but
You need to take a fort check or die.
Your head explodes.
Word check of 1. Oh, wait.
he spits right in your face and then just leaves you there.
So I walk
he doesn't
over
give a
and I
shit.
actually like pretend to be doing the same thing, but I'm actually like charging up a Cure Light Wounds with my spit, and just like touch him with the like hand that I just spit into, and like
Healing spit. That's so gross.
So what is it, like Cure Light Wounds or something? That you're doing?
yes.
Okay.
Cure Light Wounds.
So roll a cure.
6.
You're good. He's up. So
Just
as you clamber back to your feet, he
How
looks.
much life does that set me at?
Puts you at 3.
3.
I think.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
He.
it's a mix of non-lethal and lethal, which is confusing, but
Yeah, no, he heals back.
You know what?
non-lethal.
It's fine. I'm gonna give him his health back. It doesn't matter. It was a fight that was like for like dominance. I'm not gonna worry too much about it.
If you're healed, one
I'll
point
be
of-
back. Duncan
So-
always comes back.
So
and
he
stuff
looks
like
he
this.
looks over at you, he looks over at you and says, "Like I said, class is in session." As you get back up, and
Yeah.
his boys are like, "Ah ha 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 ha," they're like laughing together and stuff. And anyway,
Duncan-
back.
Kind of like shakes off his muscles, like, that was a good brawl, lad. Don't you worry, I'll be back for more later.
Yeah, playing it off. Okay, all right. So what else are other people doing?
I was
wanna
actually.
see if the water is drinkable.
You're going over to see if the water's drinkable. As you approach the bench, the orc fellow behind the bench looks up at you and goes, "New arrival, right?
Yep, that'd be right.
Well, you'll be wanting this then." And he pushes the sort of like one of the not jugs, but sort of flasks of water over towards you. There isn't a whole ton to go around, so don't drink it all at once, but we get our own, we get by. The water looks drinkable. It looks a little bit murky, but it looks like it wouldn't kill you. You know what I mean?
I kind of like seize it up and kind of like smell it, make sure it's not like, totally gross or like stagnant. And then Justin's like, how long have you been here?
How long have I been here? Well, he starts sort of like counting it off on his fingers as he ladles another, flask of water onto the table. He goes, probably about 9 years, something like that.
You just must have seen lots of changes.
The only thing that changes around here is who's in charge.
That's what I mean.
The factions, tend to war about a little bit, and it's just like politics anywhere else, though killing people is a legitimate strategy. Not to mention, of course, that I don't need to worry too much about getting involved. Us collectors for the water and so forth, we're sort of neutral territory, if you know what I mean.
Kind of invaluable, actually.
Well,
doesn't matter who you get.
Yeah, it's sort of whoever's in charge, they're still gonna need to drink something, so they rather not mess with us, so that we'll withhold it from them.
And who's in charge of your group of collectors?
The collectors? Not sure who's in charge at the moment. Let me think. It's been passing around a little bit recently. It tends to be sort of the older, less combat ready of us who are the collectors around here. So the last one was pretty old. I can't remember the name. Can't recall. It's not really important who's in charge of us. We sort of act in our own autonomy, if you know what I mean.
As I overhear this, I kind of step forward and say in common,
Makes sense.
because I doubt this guy speaks fucking Elven. You say it changes who is in charge. How long have the Mockingbirds been in charge here?
I think you mean the magpies.
It is the same thing.
It ain't to them, let me tell you that much. Well, they've been in charge for a couple years now. Their head boy's been, causing a bit of a stir amongst the other gangs. He's been cleaning up several of the smaller groups and bringing them into the fold of his own, so to speak. Probably the best shot at some real power in the last set of years.
Good. This pleases me. May I have some water?
Oh, of course. We're all the newcomers will get one flask. Straight off the bat. I'm not gonna worry too much about, the favors that we generally ask of those who collect from us. It's an invaluable service after all, and everybody's got to contribute.
A nod, just like a knowing nod of essentially being of someone of standing.
approval.
Yeah.
Of like, you need water to survive.
Not even you need water to survive. Just like, I can understand how you could use that to your advantage, kind of deal.
Anyone
like
else?
One of those nods.
Yes. Actually, I'd try to speak up to him, like, hey, over at the bar, it's too tall.
He kind of leans over as he sees you, like, poking your head out.
Yes. I was wondering, do you know if these magpies are good people?
Well, I don't know about good. There are certainly the, thieves, rapists, murderers, and general malingerers among them. Head boy, though, Urso, he's not too bad. Rules, strong fashion. Isn't really a fan of the bullshit. Other groups trying to take territory that it doesn't belong to them, crushes them down pretty hard, and I have to say, nobody's made a play within the Magpies to replace him, so.
I see. Thank you very much.
Yeah, more than welcome. Those of you who are new here, getting your bearings can be a little difficult. I understand. Want to know where the meal tickets are?
I speak to him in Orcish and say, "Thank you for the water," as he hands me the flask or whatever.
He replies to you in Orcish, but like in like formal Orcish, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Sort of like, may your ancestors be blessed with the many heads of your enemies. Sort of
Yeah.
like Orcish phrase,
I
kind of go like,
which basically means like thanks.
are you part of the Grimwolf clan? I kind of ask him in Orcish before coming here. Because I noticed he was
like guffaws as you talk about the Grimwolf clan. He goes, "Oh, don't get me started on the Grimwolf clan, boy. Don't tell me your ma's one of them."
I just wanted to know if you knew about them.
Oh, I know
Being in
plenty.
here, I mean, I wouldn't be
know
surprised.
plenty about them. Tell you stories to make your hair curl.
I wish to hear at some point. Maybe not today, though.
Yeah, a little busy at the moment. He's like handing water out to the various people who are arriving and departing. Those who are sort of new with you guys, if you know what I mean. I didn't put everybody on the map, obviously. So Karen sort of turns to Isil and says, "So we gonna go meet that guy who's in charge? That seems like the best place to take shelter, don't you think?"
Yes, of course. In fact, I was hoping to see how many of us here are willing to come with me.
And I'm going to raise my voice.
I'll come with you,
Who of you
little,
here? Oh, okay.
little one.
Like I said before, strength in numbers. Kind of like go back and just lean backwards.
Right, did I ever get her name? Like the NPC?
Which guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it to
Gary?
everyone.
Karen, yeah, she said it to you.
Oh, that's right, Karen.
So I know Karen and Aliyah, but I do not know the rest of you.
Oh, sure.
What are your names?
My name is Kraz.
Name's Dora.
Got a little
Yourself?
bit of a little bit of a lag there, Kenny. You want to repeat that?
Said my name's Orog, and yourself?
Perfect.
Yes, I am Isil.
Hmm.
I do hope we bring some stability to this place.
I like that he's like looking to bring law to the criminal.
I kind of
I-
look at him and frown and be like, don't
I
think
laugh
that's gonna
and
happen.
kind of like wipe a fake tear, like, you know, and then wipe the fake tear off.
Just like, haha, law and order here, ha ha ha. That's so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna speak to Didier in Elven.
Wait, who's speaking?
Alea.
Fuzzy. Okay.
Yeah, fuck
Sorry,
it.
I just couldn't tell whose mouth is moving.
Yeah, I'm gonna say to Didier in Elven. One of the main languages I know. Well, you hunky man, you fashionable man as you. Wouldn't you like to join the rest of us? You know, more likely to survive.
I will join, but avert your gaze, pigeon. I'm not interested.
Give me a sec, guys.
No problem.
I have
Exactly
my
what I was thinking.
standards.
Exactly
Good.
what I was thinking. Just no.
At this point, I'm kind of conflicted as to whether or not I'm following Isil or Duncan, so I'm kind of like going back and forth and like,
I kind of look at Duncan,
I
kind of
say,
like,
I say to Kraz, calme-toi, je sais que tu es laid pour un elfe, mais il faut pas humilier notre peuple.
what?
He basically just said, like, calm yourself. I know you're ugly for an elf, but don't humiliate our people.
I wouldn't respond.
Good. I wouldn't expect you to.
kind of look
good.
at Duncan and kind of sees him up all like bloodied and like wound. and didn't be like, it's quite
Actually,
a show there.
he's in pretty fantastic shape.
Well, he just got healed for 6 hit points, not his full health.
No, he is at
Well,
full
because
health.
it was non-lethal, the rest of it. Like, he punched himself
Oh,
in
yeah,
the face
that's
for
true.
non-lethal.
When you
so-
get healed, all non-lethal damage goes
yeah,
away.
he's not actually in too bad of shape.
Yeah, but
Probably
he
has
was
like a bruise.
Good Elven, sir. I didn't quite get your name.
To me? Wait.
Yeah. You haven't introduced your character to the rest of us?
Oh. Well, I assumed you all knew who I was. I am Didier, Social Red. You may have heard of me. It's just kind of a smug look.
I kind of
Say
like
no.
I kind of like tried to whisper to everyone, but make sure everyone hears, especially Didier, going, "He's a con artist." Just like really loudly, but still whispering.
Just like, I did not con. I did not steal the money. I was framed.
For something you did.
And then like turn around and be like, shut up. Just exactly like that. Shut up.
So you guys can see that those of you noobs who kind of aren't in your group are being shepherded towards the entrance to sort of the main area of the Brig. Now the Brig is a huge place, right? Like, it's a city. Though there are many parts of it that are dilapidated beyond use. You know, there are lots of parts of it that are broken. And because there's no power and no magic left in the sort of veins of the city, so to speak, the elevators do not run as they used to. And it looks like somebody has welded like a ladder basically to the shaft of like where the elevators would have been. And it looks like that's the main method for getting around places between tiers. In this version of the cities, in this broken down city.
Awesome.
So they're sort of like being led into the passageways over there, and there are members of the Magpies, like, you know, hanging around, shepherding people. There are a couple of other people that you've noticed with like different badges, but they're not really, you know, stepping forward too much, and they're trying to keep like a low profile. Clearly members of like other groups who are scoping out the new recruits, the new fresh meat, so forth.
I go to one of the magpies.
Yeah.
I can't actually see anyone on the board, but it doesn't really matter. And just be like, so, where's your faction held at?
Our faction. Well, if you're looking to join in on the Magpies, you'll be headed upward. We're somewhat of the ones in charge around here, after all. And the boss lives on the first tier, like a good ruler should.
Sounds right. How can I be of service?
Oh, you're looking to make yourself of service. Well, we're always looking for men to pad the numbers, so to speak. And, well, let's just say we can put you into a lovely little situation quick as you like.
Awesome. Kind of like crack my knuckles and be like, I'm ready for anything.
Of course, pulling your own weight is a necessity, though you look like the kind who's not going to be too much of a problem in that regard. We don't take the old, we don't take the sick, we don't take the wounded, and we don't take children. So, you know.
How about the small? As I point up to like Isil, kind of like.
I can't
the,
hear
like,
you,
thing.
Ian.
Am I nearby when he's saying that?
Yeah.
Why would you not take the sick and wounded? They get better.
Yeah, but you know, it's sort of a responsibility of those who are unaligned to take care of those who need it. The water carriers and so forth are the ones who will do the medical treatments. If you're already part of the group and you are wounded in the line of duty, of course we will treat you as best we can. However, a soldier who is lame is not going to be very useful to the group now, is he?
Kind of go to Isil and be like, it's kind of like the survival of the fittest. Strong survive. Weak, not so much.
That is a true shame. You would get many more allies if you were more compassionate.
Well, You might think that, but it also so happens that if you have weak allies and they get killed by strong enemies, you end up looking pretty bad. And that's kind of matters around here. Appearance of strength is just as useful as actual strength, don't you think?
But sometimes a fighter can belie his true strength with a simple feint.
You would know about that.
He's a walking kung fu.
Yeah, a fighter can belie his true strength like you got your ass kicked 2 seconds ago. Yeah, talk to me about your fighting skills.
Haha, I merely took it easy on him. I dealt the first critical blow.
You're not the first old fighter to wander in here and think he's top dog.
Top dog. I'm just looking for a little bit of a bite at the meat, so to speak.
As I said, if it's
As
magpies,
he says that, I say you'll probably be biting at some meat at some point. Just,
he continues. He goes, "Well, if it's a piece of the action you want, of course, I'll be happy to oblige you. All of you seem good enough to put on the roster. I'm sure the boss will want to speak to you. He kind of has a thing for, you know, individually recruiting the various members of our group, or at least talking to them whenever, you know, he can. It's what makes him such a good leader, after all. And I'm sure he'll have something for you to do. Just put it that way."
That is quite respectful. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Now I gotta get back to shepherding these lost, delirious idiots to wherever it is they're going. And he turns around to sort of, you know, the more sort of, I just stole some bread, I want to go home, sort of guys, and like is like, you know, bringing them to wherever they need to go, sort of things. It's clear that like they have some sort of tolerance for like the newbie, you know, sort of rookies of the place, and it looks like the kind of place where the rules will become apparent quite quickly as you fail to adhere to them, so to speak.
Obviously, Duncan's just gonna sit there constantly flexing. You know, he's still trying to get loosened up. You know, playing it off.
So, if you guys don't have anything further, then I will move the scene along.
Yeah,
If you
Just
like.
kind of moving up.
Just kind of like following.
Sure. So, the 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 member of the Magpies that you've been talking to kind of brings you over after the majority of the crowd has sort of disappeared and says, "Well, you're the ones who want to see the boss, right? We'll take you there. Seeing as easiest time to join a group is when you get right off that boat, starting quickly and earning your allegiance in the correct manner will be all sorts of helpful. So I think the boss will appreciate you lot." And he like moves over to the ladder near the far wall there. If you like scroll all the way to the left, there's like a ladder in like a pit. Goes over to the ladder and says, "Follow me then. I'll lead you the way." And he like jumps onto the ladder in the tunnel and sort of starts climbing upward. There's a fair distance it looks like it goes, but also it looks like the ladder is broken in several places as you climb. So it's very much sort of like you're on a ladder climbing, then you have to climb over sideways to another ladder and like keep going, and then like back over, sort of because it's like broken in places or like rusted out or so forth. And then you have to get off like 3 tiers beforehand and like switch to another way to climb up, and then you have to climb up another sort of passageway and then over to the right and back down and around this like unpassable area and up again. You know, that sort of like a circuitous route, but it's clearly a route because there's sort of people all along the way, you know, more like water area, like water benches with like people serving out, you know, the flasks, and people you know, going about their business. There appears to be, as you're moving through, sort of, you know, attempts at what looks like barter economy, you know, like people sort of doing their merchant style things with like small you know, established shops like of like wooden constructions in the heart of the sort of brass and copper streets. that seem to be, you know, trading booths. Basically, it's like, hey, what do you have that's valuable? I'll take that, and you can take whatever it is that you want. Sort of economy rather than a money-based system. The further you go, however, the more people you see with those magpie badges, and the less you see with, like, you know, unaligned or with separate different allegiances, like, publicly displayed. It's clear that the further up you go and the closer to the first tier you get, it's like thick as thieves, you know, up here. The sort of magpie group controls the entire place. So as you guys make your way, and I have a map now.
Oh, you didn't have a map of us switching ladders 85 times?
No. But I do have a map.
And they're
for
all just like all
this.
little tubes.
Just draw like a
Drags
Mario
one to the
tube.
next.
Well, the only reason I'm even mentioning that is because, you know, it takes time to get up here, and also,
Yeah.
like, it's not easy to navigate, you know? Like, if you didn't have somebody leading you, and you're going the first time, you'd get lost. Like, there's just no conceivable way otherwise.
No way.
This place could really use a master ladder craftsman.
Brazier craftsman. Master Brazier.
My god, that's what I put my skill points into.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Brazier
5.
craftsman.
Laddercraft.
So, you guys are brought up to the sort of the top tier of the place. This is clearly like the highest point of the entire place, and you can tell that the whole room is sort of, it's not quite level, it's like sort of slanted. Like the floor is like sort of slanted, because the whole city itself is sort of tilted a little bit, and you're at like the furthermost tip upward. As you climb out of the ladder area there, you can see across the room there's like a big, you know, chair, and out of that non-walled area is just like a drop. It's just like a sheer drop down there. And you can see the desert, like, as far as the eye can see, like, in the distance. It's like a bay window without the window, you know?
Oh my gosh, somebody push that dude. Bull rush! Bull rush!
Bull rush. Yeah, but you go with them. Bull rush.
So,
Yeah, but bull rush.
Rule of cool.
See, that's where it's a desert campaign, so we don't have an Undine. They can't just water wave him off.
Yeah, well, see, what you do is you bull rush, and then you grapple him on the way down so he can't escape either.
so anyway, you guys are shown in, and there's various members of the you know, the band sort of around on the scattered tables. This looks like it used to be sort of like a courtroom, or like a you know, like a reception hall for like a palace or something, and the rest of the building is just like crumbled away, and this is all that's left. And these tables are set up, you know, where moldy red carpet sort of used to be along the floors, and so forth, and that there's like tents in the corners and curtain poles with like curtains covering certain areas, because, like, well, you can't really craft any good walls without like sheet metal and so forth. So it's just like, you know, privacy stuff. Clearly, these are, you know, inner sanctum sort of guys, or at least, you know, lieutenants and so forth. They all look pretty good at what they do, and they have, you know, sort of maps open that are like not crudely drawn, but like you know, accurately drawn for the fact that it's a ruin. You know, there are some areas that are clearly marked off as like impassable and so forth. There's maps on the tables that they're looking at the ways that you can get through this place, and so on, and where various territories are. Colors seem to mark off like various different territories and so forth. And the lower down you go, the sort of more mixed colors there are on the map. You know, sort of the smaller factions that are fighting amongst each other. And then as you rise towards the apex of the pyramid, it's all just like the black, sort of black and white magpies color at the top. So as you arrive, you're shepherded sort of by the gazes and glances of everybody to sort of stand like around here.
Can I, like, not, you know, you don't have to tell me what colors there are and everything, but can
Yeah.
I kind of make a mental note of, like, where the colors are and such, and, like, what factions control where?
Sure. Could you make I need you to make a roll for that. Roll perception for me.
Okay. Let's see.
just because like you don't actually know the geographical layout of the place, so
Sure.
trying to remember where stuff is in relation.
It's just a
like,
straight
it's
D20.
It's a little harder.
19. All right, sweet.
All right. Well, you can see the basic sort of like the larger blocks of color and where they reside and so forth.
Actually, that would be 21. You're an elf.
Yeah, you have a +2, right? Cause
I think I actually got rid of that.
okay.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So anyway, as you approach this guy,
Yeah.
sort of this rough-looking individual with like long hair and sort of a scraggy beard, and like generally a roguish look to him, sort of like bearish roguish. I don't know how to describe it better than that. He's sort of like a big man, but he's wearing like leather and fur, even in this hot climate, and boots, and there's obviously lots of hidden weaponry on him, sort of knives and various things, and he's unkempt and scraggly, but he looks authoritarian.
He looks like me, but not an orc.
He steps around from the chair and he says, "Oh, bringing us new arrivals, are you? Well, thank you. It's always nice to have a new audience. So, you looking to join up?"
Ah, yes. We are willing to help you in your quest to make this place a more stable land.
A more stable land. Who could ask for better, right? Been in charge here for 5 years now, just about. It's a lot harder to keep an iron grip on a place where killing you is a legitimate political strategy than it is, rising those socio-political ranks. All I had to do was get rid of the last guy, and there I sit on the lovely throne of this fair city of Garanth. So, you're looking to join up. That's the key thing here, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you what. We got some spaces available. Couple of places just opened up. Fresh slots. However, we don't just let anybody, waltz in and claim membership. That would sort of defeat the purpose. Best way we do this, of course, is by eliminating our competition. Now, if you're really serious about joining up with the Magpies and you want to be part of our glorious and illustrious organization at the tip-top of the apex of the chain of the slide, it got away from me, but the slide here, then you're going to have to prove that you're worth something. And I have just the way you can do that.
Ah, well, I hope it takes a good bit of strength and tact to complete this task that you're asking us.
Yes, my horned fellow, it certainly does.
I thought it was gonna be boring as soon as they herded us in.
Boring. Well, you won't suffer from being bored, I can tell you that much. Now, let me explain. We've been fighting and keeping these upper tiers clear for a long while. And we've just about got it all sorted out. Except for a tiny corner in the 8th tier. Rest of these top tiers, all ours. Now, I'd like to get rid of this blemish on our record by sending you fine individuals to take care of it for me. If you can talk them out of it, lovely. If you can't, stick them full of holes. I really couldn't care less. Of course, they will be the members of the Red Ravens. They got some allies, further down, but they're a little isolated up here on their own, surrounded by our, rather
Entourage.
belligerent forces. But I can't seem to dislodge them, so get rid of them and spots are yours. I'll even throw in a little bit of a bonus. Maybe spread the word that you're some tough meat around here, and people leave you alone a little more. Maybe get some extra water from the water collectors. I have that kind of influence. I can do those kinds of things.
at the sound of someone saying that I can be left alone, I'm just like, I'll do it. I agree instantly.
Orog just kind of nods, kind of in agreement.
What if I were capable of changing them to your side?
Changing them to my side? Well, that would also work just as well, though it's hard to trust the words of traitors, don't you think? Somebody who used to work for your enemies saying they're going to work for you?
Of course, of course. But what if you made them a dependency? A small group not truly of your own, so they cannot reach the upper tiers, but they still obey your beck and call.
Ah, see, I see what you mean. But, you'll notice on the maps, and he like, turns to one of the tables and walks over to it, through you guys, like, totally, move out of my way, totally just, like, not bothered by the fact that he's, like, surrounded by people he doesn't know as he walks through you guys, clearly confident in his position. He leans over the table and gestures across the map that's there. He says, but you see, on the maps that leaves that nasty little red spot amongst all our black and white. It's rather untidy, and I like a just and clean society, run, of course, solely by me and my associates. And anything that kind of gets in the way in the chain of that potential clean and simple rule is sticky.
I'm gonna look down at this table and I'd say,
Would it not be possible to just change the color as soon as they're your dependent?
You don't seem to get the idea here.
My character
crayons
just kind of
cost a
goes
lot,
like,
man.
like as soon as Issel says that, I kind of go like, oh, just like look away, just like that was dumb.
Dependent they might be, but they wouldn't be our men. They wouldn't belong to us, you see? Even if they're dependent, they'll have that little spark of hope in their hearts where they're like, oh, yes, one day we won't be dependent anymore. One day we'll decide to do our own thing. You see, you see my problem.
be pretty disappointed. But if I throw this and say,
Look, if you
And I
can...
will try to make them move down to the 9th tier.
Look, if you can move them out peacefully, fine. Like I care, long as they're gone.
Sorry.
Anybody else got anything to say?
As soon as he says that, I kind of go like, so the agreement is that if this red, this disgusting color, is eliminated, their spot is ours.
Oh, well, don't know about their spot, but I certainly have places for you, and I'll be more than happy to graciously reward you for the removal of this blotch upon my territory.
Gracious reward.
As I said, being friends with me, being on my side, has its benefits. Consider, if you will, sir, he talks to, like, you specifically, because you appear to be some snooty fellow who's probably been high on the tiers somewhere else, you know? Consider, if you will, sir, it a parallel between being friends with the Grand Magister and being friends with me. I get things done a lot quicker.
I imagine you would. The Grand Magister is, I will say, a cunt.
Couldn't agree more. And he sort of says, any questions?
Any intel on who we're after?
Intel? Well, all you need to know is they are members of the Red Ravens. They are nasty, brutish individuals who I rather don't like. Not to mention their leader, I suppose if you were a military man, you'd call him a sergeant, of that particular little detachment of the Ravens, Jakar, is stubborn, mulish, large, and armored.
He sounds ugly.
Oh, most certainly.
Sounds simple.
Well, good then. Go and see my girl off there. She'll kit you up with anything that you need, liquids-wise. And you'll be on your way. Feel free to hang around as much as you like for the moment. But I'm going to assume that you're working for me now, so don't dawdle too long.
Nod and go check out what.
He
already
sort
pointed
of
us
he
to.
sort of goes over back and sort of stares out
Actually-
across the desert.
Before he heads back all the way, I quickly remember.
Is there any sort of paperwork we require to inform your allies that we are with them?
Oh, of course. As I said, my girl, she'll take care of you.
Thank you.
And he goes back to his business. And of course, the girl he's just like pointing to is the girl in the bottom left there, behind the curtain. He sort of points in that direction. You can hear from behind the curtain like the bubbling of alchemical ingredients, and several beakers are set up on the desk and table, and she's got like drawers full of ingredients and various things in this room that's clearly cordoned off for her use only.
Do I see any potential ingredients that could be poisonous?
Oh, well, do you know anything about alchemical ingredients?
Yeah, I have profession alchemy.
Roll profession alchemy.
Right. +4. +4.
Yeah.
I would also like to
Nah.
make a roll.
Sure.
So shitty.
28.
Oh,
Wait,
wait,
what?
how do you have +9? What?
Intelligence
how it
bonus.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
+3.
Aurog, you would notice that, of course, she's got some common materials that you would consider poisonous. Things like, nightshade and so forth, like bushels of the stuff hanging, like, upside down off of the ceiling on hooks, and, so forth. Like, clearly she's a studious alchemical student, and knows what she's doing. Of course, Kraz would notice more accurately that most of these things are used equally so in medicines and in curatives, though clearly she has a couple of vials of things that if you put one drop of it in somebody's food, they would probably die. She's not all innocent and smiles, though the girl herself seems to be maybe 16 and like sort of pouring over the potions with like an apron on that's like got stains all over it, blonde hair sort of tied back, sort of doing her thing happily, sort of bright-eyed about it.
When he said my girl, are they like together in a relationship? Can I tell by that?
On seeing her, you think that maybe she might be his kid rather than his wife, age-wise.
Just kind of like a member.
But she could just be somebody that he just refers to affectionately in that manner. It's really hard to tell.
Hello there. We were told by your leader that we should come to you.
Oh, Urso sent you. Okay. What is it that he said that you needed? I don't usually give out stores to people who aren't.
Yes, we require paperwork and supplies.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
believe.
she's like sort of, perks up immediately, like sort of a very bright personality, sort of, almost like in contrast to the fact that she's in a prison, Clearly she's having a pretty good time, and maybe she was, maybe she doesn't know anything else other than this. So she turns back to her table and pulls a drawer open and messes around in there and takes out a couple of badges, and these appear to be similar to the one that you saw the guy wearing at the entrance, sort of black badges with like white spots, to signify sort of like an allegiance to the Magpies. So paperwork wise, this is pretty much what we have. If you're wearing one of these, then people will know who you're working for, and we don't give them out super freely. So basically, this should get you wherever you need to go. One of the things I always give to new members, she's like patting herself down, like looking for something. And
Lassie, if you need a pat down, I think I could do it a little better for you.
she sort of ignores you and like withdraws a couple of vials like in between her fingers. Sort of, she's got like several vials, hanging. She goes, curative and restorative potions. Now, this is where we're, of course, different to all those other nasty little factions that are scattered around. We take care of our members, and we don't really want you to die immediately. So, each one of you take one of these and use it if you feel you need it. As well as a badge, of course. And she sort of hands a badge and a Cure Light Wounds potion to each of you.
Awesome. Write that down.
You have my thanks, Miss,
Penelope.
Miss Penelope.
No worries. I mean, I do pretty well for myself up here, and it's people like you who join our society, who keep the nasty, anarchists at bay, that keep me in business.
Hopefully we shall return soon. Goodbye.
And I'll just take my leave since pretty much everything is done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are the rest of you going, or is anybody else have anything to say? Or
And follow the little gold lizard bitch.
Right, as they're going away, I kind of look and kind of remark, you have a pretty good collection here.
Well, I mean, I've been in the workshop for a little while now. She clearly references this place as the workshop. For a little while now, and you gather some things. All sorts of things, after time, and plants still grow some places, especially where the water gatherers are.
And the lower tiers, I'd
sort
imagine.
of drippage and so forth can create interesting combinations of things down there.
Do I recognize any of the plants as being like really hard to come by or anything like that?
Nothing seems super rare, but she clearly wouldn't keep rare things out in the open. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
she has a sense of value of those things, I'm sure.
You've been here long, Penelope?
Mm-hmm. All my life.
I kind of nod to that. Kind of like to my suspicion.
Yeah, she nods and says, well, not all of us come here on a ship. Men and women are here, so,
Well, it's good to know that people can survive here. Kind of like go open and shrug and
yeah, of
kind of
course,
nod to her as I leave.
it's not all bad. It's just different, You're overhearing these conversations? Very well. Anything else from anybody?
I rolled perception.
Yeah.
See if I can see if she's like favoring one side, or like might have a muscle strain.
Clearly she's not like, she's not a super fit person, but I mean, surviving in the desert and in this place for so long, like, sort of makes you, tougher. She's a thin girl. She doesn't appear to have any sort of problems, no.
Knotted
All right,
muscles.
Duncan speaks up anyway. He says, Lassie, I'm sure that living here in this environment has taken a toll on your body. I've, as you can see, like, points down to his, like, build,
Yeah.
being that he's a fighter. As you can see, I've been, working my body and my fitness for a long time now, and if you ever need any hints or any chiropractic work, as he, cracks knuckles, I would definitely be your man around these parts.
She sort of smiles. she sort of smiles and says, I know a lot of people who are fighters. Many of our group are. I'm sure they could benefit from your expertise as well.
Well, I am a chiropractor by trade, and I mostly focus on the ladies, but if any lads come by and, in excruciating pain, I believe I could assist them if it would make them put in a good word with you.
She sort of rolls her eyes and, like, goes back to her work, like, I'm sure if I have any problems, I'll let you know.
Kind of like
Mainly
shaking my
favors
head
women.
as I hear that.
Winks and walks off.
Roll perception as you walk away.
God.
No.
Nope.
You don't see shit.
Damn it. She hates me.
You don't
I
know
can
that.
only imagine why.
Not a good ladies' man at all.
You're like an
No.
old guy that does the worst kind of. putting-
Character's not
you
old.
probably
He's
have
like-
some blood on you
he's
from
like
being
26.
stabbed.
Whatever. You sound like an old man to me.
He'd be like 26 in human years.
I'm like having a really hard time with Duncan because he sounds like Deckard Cain to me. Like I just can't get over like the
that's-
Deckard Cain.
You sound a lot like Deckard Cain.
That is like a mix of Sean Connery.
Yes, lassie, come and see my Herodric cube.
You have quite a treasure there in that Roderick cube. A slight Diablo.
Yes. Anyway, so you guys are sort of given the one of the maps that'll lead you to the correct location should you wish to follow it. You're free to do whatever you like for a little bit, and then if you've got nothing, I'll poke towards the next thing.
Yeah, we kind of have very little. Though I'm kind of wondering where that druid went.
Oh yeah, I just forgot to add her. She's still here.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's still here. So if you want to interact with each other, that's fine. If not, I will continue us to the next place.
I don't like any of these fellows. None of them seem... Well, maybe the orc. He seems like a fit fighter. The others are just
Yeah, I'm
kind of...
pretty burly.
Speaking of Issel, these are the. I understand you are not one of the brutes of this squad, and like looking over at like fucking Duncan, who got stabbed and shit. They're
He's
like,
just-
you seem more sensible than many of these. What you say? Yeah. What is your plan for subjugating this group?
I would not call it subjugating so much as trying to convince them to move down and perhaps renounce their faith in whatever other group they are in.
Mm.
Hopefully they will see the light and choose the right path. If not, worse can come to worse.
If not,
But we will
at
try to
least
minimize casualties, if possible.
We shall see.
Okay, so you guys, following the map, wind your way through, a couple of series of tunnels, taking a wrong turn here or there, because it's like, oh, well, this is not a correct map, actually, it's just a representation of the correct
Like,
route.
around here.
It's like, well, this pipe hadn't burst yesterday, so, now we can't get through here, but now we can, sort of stuff. Clearly there are, dynamic, events that happen that kind of ruin certain pathways and so on. But you make your way through. That's not what I wanted to do.
Ah,
Don't look.
evil.
Don't look.
Don't look.
Ah,
I switched back to whatever.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
it's cool.
you didn't have.
Just letting you
lighting.
know.
didn't have my dynamic lighting on. That's all. So.
made to black.
There were two guards.
No, there was 100. We're fighting
Yeah,
a
it's
horde of
the
goblins.
That's the
On
intel
the
that the guy
ladder.
gave us.
He's like,
There were two guards in there.
no, he said there was a big fat guy wearing armor.
This is actually true. He did mention a big fat guy in armor.
Do I not have a dynamic lighting layer?
He
for
also
this?
said he was ugly. Oh wait, no, I did.
I totally don't have a dynamic lighting layer for this map. Okay, hang on.
Intermission. Grab your popcorn.
No, hang on. I got you. I'm gonna put you here, and then you guys are gonna, keep
It's
doing
a very
your
dark
thing.
house.
It'll take me a second to do. It won't take me that long at all. 1, 2, 3.
Give me a second to get a drink.
I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick.
4.
Same.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go to the pizza and get a something.
Get a slice.
Who am I missing?
Maybe.
Kraz.
You don't know. You don't know my
There we
life.
go. Okay, give me 1 sec, guys. I just gotta scribble out a dynamic lighting layer. Won't take me that long at all. In the meantime, how's everybody? Is there anything you guys would like to know about like the setting and stuff that I may have should have told you, or anything like common knowledge that you feel you're lacking at this point?
Well, it's kind of hard to say we have common knowledge about a place we just got dropped off into, but
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like Like
Well, common knowledge of the city itself and
the city, or like, you know, the history of this place, or things you might have heard about it, or blah 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 blah. You know.
I've kind of wondered about the wastelands itself. Like,
Okay.
is there absolutely no life out there?
The thing about the wastelands is that it's a very much harder existence. Let's put it that way. There are very few chances to screw up and still live, if you know what I mean. There are large monsters out there in the wasteland because only the largest, toughest things can even survive out there. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking like your purple worms and your, you know, drakes and your.
What? We're fighting a purple
nasty
worm and a
stuff. No,
drake?
shut up.
Whoa.
Stuff like
Level
that.
1 purple worm.
Then of course there are small patches of like oases,
Oh, the world.
that you know can sustain sort of like smaller tribal sort of societies, less technologically advanced, but surviving off the land, so to speak. That kind of stuff. It's especially around the Brig, like there are known to be sort of no respite areas. You know, there's like nowhere you could run to from here within the requisite amount of time to like probably be able to live.
Is there like a boat?
Couldn't carry enough water.
Yeah, like you just wouldn't be able to get there. Okay, so we're good. We're good. I dynamic lighting layered, and now we're fine. Why did I draw a line there? Go away. Okay. Alright, well, everybody's back. Perfect. So, you guys arrive at the sort of, the front gates of this red-marked territory. These guys are wearing a different badge to you, these two guys who see you approach. They're wearing a red, like a red patch sewn into their like jackets, just above their hearts, you know. As you approach, the two orcish fellows at the front there see you coming, and one of them steps forward and goes, "Oi, nobody allowed past this point."
My friends, could I possibly bother you to let us pass to speak to your leader?
What you want to speak to him about?
I do not wish to divulge that information to you right now. However, it is quite important to the shared survival of the many.
I interrupt him when he's saying this. I don't know if you can hear me,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I interrupt him and go and just say opportunity. Opportunities. You know? Hey, shut up.
Are you
Just
guys
like-
are you guys wearing the badges right now, or
No,
I'm
I'd
not,
be putting
but,
it
like,
away.
I'm not.
after-
I've got it kind of like off,
guys are not?
like a little
Mine's in
bit
my pocket.
out of the way, but not super
It's one of
obvious.
those things that
but
they
it's
kind of go
on.
like, "Hey, what's your badge?" We kind of go, "Oh."
yeah, okay.
My whole body's my badge because I'm wearing a white robe with a black underthing. So
You guys,
Pretty much.
oh,
I'm wearing a white.
who are
lunch
you
robe.
representing then? I ain't seen you round here
I-
before, you shiny little lizard thing.
Yes, we're quite new around here. Would you mind letting us pass?
Boss don't like when we let things pass, and been a lot.
And- When he says that, I just say like, your boss would not, and then I don't know if this would be like a diplomacy check or something else.
Feel
check.
free to roll something, and I'll
Yeah,
take it.
sure.
I'll take it in
Well,
consideration.
Like I'll say things and just tell me what I roll so I know what modifiers to add.
Sure.
I'm also quite certain your boss does not like to lose out on opportunities, especially when he is, and I say this with like a little bit like leaning forward a bit, like a little surrounded by not so nice people, not us, but I think you know of who I speak.
that's a bluff check for sure.
Joe, what do you
Yeah,
want to roll? on that?
no,
Diplomacy.
roll diplomacy, because actually that's completely true. Like, that's a legitimate statement.
Oh,
Oh,
You want me
okay.
to roll diplomacy? Or
Yeah, do so.
Okay.
Are these considered evil or surface?
These people?
Yes.
What do you mean surface?
Surfacers, like people that are not a part of the Underdark or.
Oh yeah, these are
specifically evil or
surfacers.
kobolds.
These are certainly surfacers.
All right.
There you go. I don't know if that helps me, but
certainly does.
Whoa.
The orcs are kind of looking at each other, like a little bit unsure as to like whether they should let you pass or not. And clearly they're having like a sort of conflict of interest because they know that like the last people they let pass caused trouble and they got in trouble for that. But you guys are, looking pretty good. He goes, I suppose you could let you go pass. However, don't be making the boss angry, huh? You look like you said, you're new here, so you don't know the rules, but we're kind of in a little bit of a situation at this place. Maybe the boss could use your help, seeing as you don't got any badges on you. You sign up with us, be a good fight for you. And he sort of steps aside, and like they sort of separate a little bit, but then they turn to like escort you basically. Okay, so you kind of head down this would lead. I'm gonna leave one of them here because I can't be bothered to move them both. But consider there are two.
I'm gonna peer in.
And
like,
you make your way
closer
down
wall.
here. Each of these cells looks like it may have been like a jail cell or something before, but they've repurposed it as like a bedroom. For these guys, there's a couple of dwarves here who, look like they're part of this group and they're just chilling out. They've got the red patch sewn above their hearts on their armor. And
As I pass them, I'm just gonna mention out loud.
Shouldn't you be holding the doors? I mean, we are capable of following the path.
Like, just to see if the guards, or the dwarves at least, will like go, oh, we gotta go forward.
the dwarves look to you and then back at what they're doing. They're like, we ignore that fucking guy.
Alright.
Stupid lizard.
And
Worth a shot.
he keeps taking you along. The pathway.
What's this guy look
Guards.
like?
That guy, he's just like a human fellow, a human
Oh.
guy with a sword and a shield.
Oh yeah, humans.
So you come upon like a sort of similar thing to what you've seen in the other place. Like it's sort of like a social room, with tables and a couple people gathered around, and the leader sort of sitting at the entrance to his like tent that he's got set up in here. And as you kind of come nearby, he stands up. The guy is human, and he's something like 6'8". Like he's a pretty big guy. He's got what looks to be fairly heavy armor on, like it may have belonged to somebody important in the past. And a nice red cloak over his shoulders, as well as the red patch, though it's clearly like more nicely done. His hair is sort of this blonde, think like a guile cut, like sort of thing. And he's got a rather large sort of sword on his belt. It looks like it might be a long sword or a bastard sword. You can't really tell the difference at sort of like the cloak covering it. So he stands up and he says, Grosh, who have you bought me this time? And the orc fellow goes, they want to speak with you about something. I thought I should let them in. They not got any badges or anything. Maybe they could help us out. He says, "You've been telling them about that we need help?" Like stupid fucking orc. And he goes, "Go back to the door. I have this handled." And the orc's like, "Oh yeah, okay, well, all right, boss." And he, nicks off back to the post that he was assigned initially.
Looks like you're in quite of a pickle here.
Right, what was his name again?
This guy,
Because I know I heard it from,
Jakar.
yeah.
Jakar.
Jakar.
Jafar.
Jakar.
He's the genie from the second movie.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. Hello, sir. I do not happen to know your name, but I was told to come here to help you escape your current predicament.
I am Jakar, one of the leaders of the Red Ravens. We, unlike the Magpies, are a benevolent council. We do not answer the calls of one man. Now, you say you've come here to help me escape? We don't need to escape from here. This is rightfully our territory, claimed time ago. And it is the Magpies who usurp their position to join this annoying larger force that they've got together. It is my wish that, of course, we keep this territory and move to claim further higher tiers from these miscreants who answer to the dirty filth, the leader Urso. Now, I don't think escape is something that I'll be doing. Thank you.
Duncan is gonna stride up, his animated hair blowing in the wind that is obviously not present.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
And he's gonna, take one look at Jakar. Ah, I can see why a man such as yourself wouldn't be running. You've got quite the fighter's stature in you. And with an armor like that, you must surely be someone to reckon with.
I have fought a number of battles and come out victorious each time. I will not be moved from here. This is my rightful place.
Oh, but might I ask you, as a fellow fighter myself, what kind of situation would you see yourself getting into should you attempt to defeat these usurpers?
It must be handled carefully and surgically, one step at a time, moving forward as the pace demands, holding positions and not falling back.
And if you break the dam and the water flows upon you, you'll be swept away.
I think I have the strength to stand against some water, as you put it.
Well,
Are you certain this is a good plan? You see, I have noticed some statistics that I've passed by, and it seems that you are in the minority in these clusters. Is it healthy to stay here?
In this particular instance, you are correct, Shiny One. We are at a minority, but that does not make our cause any less correct or righteous. Not to mention, were you to move to the lower tiers, down further and further, our territory, of course, becomes larger and larger. There are many pockets of our faction existing below. It is merely to bring them up to this level that needs to be sorted.
well,
But they are much closer up here. Would it not be true if they wished they could annihilate you by mass?
You are
It is
right.
much safer to leave now and bolster your numbers and come as one force.
You are right. It would be safer. But we have decided, our council, that safety is not the issue. If we are to back down here, they will think they have won, and the appearance of their superiority will be obvious to everyone else in this city. We cannot have our reputation tarnished such, and so I hold this point.
so if you're such a valiant fighter, why not challenge their leader to a duel and lay your claim to royalty at stake?
Urso is a coward. He will not agree to such a duel.
Ha! Working for such a coward, I could not sleep at night, would you say?
He knows he has the greater mass of numbers, and therefore would never agree to such a duel. It is not in his best interest.
Da, da.
These are two factions, and both of them... you
Yeah,
know,
they're both kind of blood-hated at each other right now, and this guy is one of their leaders, so...
Well, I believe the point is here that you want to keep this foothold so that you may gather forces to bring up to the higher levels, correct?
You are correct, Feathered One.
And it seems that the other group obviously does not wish you to be here.
Oh, most certainly not.
So, do you feel like you are in a winning cause?
As I've
Not to say that your ideals are superior.
as I've explained, whether my cause is one of current victory or not, I can see where you might think we might be at a disadvantage, and I of course see it myself as well. The issue is, were I to back down, it would be like legitimizing the claim that Urso, the rogue bandit, leader of a motley crew, has over this place, crowning himself ruler of Garanth, the Brig, as others call it. If I'm to step down from here, it is like acknowledging that he is the rightful person.
I'm simply not saying that. I'm saying, why don't you take the entire level?
He waves his arm kind of at the assembled, folks behind him and says, "We are awaiting reinforcements."
So you are in a position of weakness.
We are in a position of attendance.
And why is this throne so important to you? What has this fellow done to deserve such ire?
The best way I can explain it is, are you a member of a family?
I was.
Oh, you were.
I
Well,
stare at the ground.
how exactly do you feel if this family is, let's say, taken away from you?
I see where you're going.
My clan, my band, the Red Ravens, they are my family. They have been wrongfully killed and usurped for the last 6 years, and I will not stand for it any longer. I will not give an inch. I will not step down. I will not allow Urso to claim the throne of this prison kingdom as he sees fit. We may have been thrown here, but we have made the best of the situation. There are those among us who were born here and raised here for generations. It is its own culture, its own city. Newcomers perhaps would not understand our attachment to keeping filth like that murderer Urso out of the positions of power.
So let me ask you something, laddie. If you say your cause is more righteous and just, what would you do in this position of power that Urso is currently in?
What would I do? See, this is where Urso's tactics and my own differ. I would not do a thing without the consent and representation of members of the community. Those who have opinions, those who have thoughts, those who are more intelligent on certain subjects than I, the Council of the Red Ravens. They are the perfect sort of democracy that this place needs, voted into their positions, as I myself was, unlike Urso, who claims a dictatorship, a rulership over the entirety of this place, without just cause, without knowledge or history here, brought here with his band of strong men and claiming his power as he wishes.
Orog kind of like nudges the sill, kind of like moving towards him, being like, "This man seems to be more lawful than the last, or at least he has a better sense of justice, or how a system should work."
he does genuinely seem to be like, why would you be trying to get him to leave? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the way, Yin, you're sort of frozen, and I don't. you got like a this face going on.
I think Asil's also gone. No one sees
Sorry,
face.
I received a disconnection.
Okay,
Oh,
you
okay.
good?
Wasn't entirely sure why, but anyways, whatever his name is, I'm gonna go forward to him and say,
Does your group follow a set group of laws, a codex of sorts, if you will?
Written laws, there are some that have been passed down, though they have not been entirely codified. We are, of course, a democracy. The entirety of our group votes upon those who will lead them, and thus the leaders are more fair and fitting, such as myself, in a position of generalship, in a position of warrior leadership. I was voted the most useful, I suppose, to stand at the forefront, military training and all that in the past. We have among our council, of course, an architect, a doctor, those who have had training in all sorts of professions, those who have different perspectives on ways to deal with problems that are encountered. However, the magpies have proved stubborn in their military usage, let's say. Their choices have been violent, one after the other, and their dealing with enemies is equally as brutal.
Can't say I blame them, coming from the reputation of this place.
How prominent are the reds? Like, thinking back to the perception check that I made earlier, how prominent was red in terms of colors among the tiers?
It was certainly like more prominent than some of the other colors. There are like a ton of colors, though some of them are mere dots on the map.
Yeah.
Red, like around the sort of lower tier areas and so forth. It's clearly they clearly have a larger sort of majority and stuff further down. But whether that means they have more people or not, it's hard to say.
Okay.
Your call is just. How can we aid you in helping you?
Sorry, I just.
No, it's fine. It's good.
How do we
Tru-
help
tru-
help you?
Trust me, sentences get
Yeah.
away from me too all the time.
I've drawn a few blanks so far.
Okay. So he raises an eyebrow and says, "You're looking to sign up with us?"
Yes, indeed. I wanted to mention that you may want to bolster your guards at the front door. They are not very intelligent. Our original course for this case was less savory.
Less savory, such as?
I do not want the
Cut him
relationship
off.
to be born
I-
upon lies. So, I would like to state that we were sent by the usurper. And while I did not trust him, I wanted to see and make sure we could increase stability if possible. You sound like a much better man than he.
You went to see Urso first.
That is where all newcomers are sent first.
True, he does have a good presence at the docks. I can't blame you. Newcomers and all. Though coming to talk to me is a good move. Had you come and tried to cut us down, you may have been, well, unpleasantly surprised. What color were the tough guys at the table by the docks wearing? They were wearing a black and purple checkered badge.
Oh man, I was hoping to meet him here. I was
It's
like,
more of a sort of a. Actually, it was more of a sort of like a handkerchief, like tied around their neck, like black and purple checkered, rather than.
They're Boy Scouts. Got it.
Yeah.
Evil Boy Scouts.
Exactly. Boy Scouts that kick your ass. Anyway.
I kicked my own ass. Thank you.
True, you did. Anyway.
Punch in the face.
He nods and says, "Well, a way that you could help us make things more secure is, of course, we're waiting for reinforcements to arrive here before we make our strike against the magpies on this tier. I believe that with a single stroke we might be able to claim the entirety of Tier 8. However, it will require some more men, and you make up a good portion of men, I suppose. With a pointed look at Alia, who he can't tell if you're male or female. You're a bird. And then, of course, Karen is there, and she's, I don't have her on the map there, but she's been tagging along with you. She goes, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't think switching sides here is a good idea. You heard what he just said about all the things, the brutal murders and dealing with enemies and so forth. Is this really a guy we want to portray?
Lassie, I'm not afraid of any man here, let alone some wimpy coward.
It would be the same if
You must not trust the words of. You must not trust the words of a man when they speak about their enemies. It is never always true. However, this man speaks of his own in a very just way. We did not hear such from Urso.
Anyone who tears apart a family is dead to me. And you're like looking over at the table, and there's just like the tattered remains of the emblem that I got.
Well, Karen, think of it this way. One force says murder is commonplace. The other says counsel is commonplace. Which one would you choose?
Well, I wouldn't want to be in the way of the one that said murder was commonplace.
Well, would you want to be in the commonplace of murder?
I mean, I guess not. I'm not saying I'm not gonna do it, guys. I'm just thinking out loud, It's kind of stressful.
Like so, like
We're all in the
still
same
have the
situation.
We'd still have the same problem if we came here and disturbed them. Then the Red Ravens would simply want our throats. Either way, we're in a bad situation. But I think you knew that as soon as we stepped off the boat.
We must do what we can to survive.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
seems like this is our best option.
I guess you're right. So what do you want us to do exactly? She says over at Jakar, sort of breaking from the conversation with the group, and Jakar turns back to Asil, and keeps going because Asil seems to be the dialogue man between you guys. And he says, the Magpies don't hold only territory within the upper tiers. They also control some things which are a little controversial to have control over. Many of the water collectors have been complaining of late of magpie interference in their business. Now, as you are probably rightly aware, the water collectors are a neutral faction. They are never hurt by anyone, and if they are, it is dealt with swiftly by everyone else involved. The Magpies have had enough power and enough clout to take control of a couple of the areas where the water collectors have been doing their drainage, you could say, and gaining their own sort of store of this valuable liquid. With their own storehouse of the stuff, they'll not have to conform to these rules, and the water collectors will be fair game, and nobody wants to die of thirst. The Magpies will just be demanding that people join their cause, their side, Urso's plan, or they'll simply expire of thirst. This cannot be allowed to happen, and I believe that taking back control of these areas in the lower edges of our territory is just as important as this 8th tier. Now, if we're still waiting on reinforcements up here, then we may as well put your bodies to good use somewhere. And once the reinforcements arrive, then we'll be able to strike as a full force across the 8th tier. What do you think of this?
No.
Well, I never liked the name Magpie anyway.
If I'm to understand correctly, you're saying you are outnumbered on this tier, yes?
Of course.
And you're waiting for would you need to how you say gain the advantage
Here,
on this tier? This
the
Tier
difficulty
number
the
eight.
difficulty is sneaking our men into this area. It's basically surrounded by magpie forces.
Therefore, if we were to say there was a distraction, a confusion of the magpie forces, would this not aid you in your goal?
Of course. Do you have some
And-
sort of plan?
I have several how you say profitable ideas.
Well,
But-
this also raises another good point. If you have the badges that belong to the magpies, could you not pretend to remain amongst their forces?
You see, you and me have a very similar way of thinking. Unlike my less aesthetically fortunate friend over there. We
You'll probably
we
notice
do
that
seem-
my emblem is now like melted in certain areas.
Oh,
we do seem to be in a position of advantage at the moment. As the magpies still believe that we are here to, how you say, convince you to leave. Be that, diplomatic or no. So, I believe there are things we could do to further your position.
Should we
anything
not
that you're thinking
assist you?
specifically, Elf, or are you just saying there are things? Because I'm sure there are things, but I'm sure you also want to keep your head. And I feel like if you're planning to walk into a magpie force and just cause problems, you won't be keeping it for very long.
But you see, maybe it would not be me causing the problem. Maybe a guard might let somebody pass who shouldn't pass. Or maybe, someone was misinformed as to your actions. I am simply saying that there are many possibilities depending on how you want to play this game.
You're correct. So we have three options. One of which is continue to go about your business as if nothing is wrong. Act as if you have never talked to me, that things had gone in a violent manner and you'd had to retreat or something similar. I don't care what story you come up with. I won't be moving, however.
Understandable.
Another choice, deal with the situation with the water collectors in the lower tiers. We can send you down there and see if you can dislodge some of the magpie agents that have been causing problems for those very peaceful individuals. Thirdly, we can wait here for reinforcements for as long as it takes and then strike out across the 8th tier and try and take the entire thing.
But I have another option.
Oh?
You see, we've come across these fancy badges, and I'll show them the badge that we got from Urso. And, say we took these badges and gave them to your best, say, peacekeeping forces. And by that, of course, I mean your best assassins. Haha! They could possibly sneak in and maybe take Urso out of his place.
Or simply aid in ferrying people here. They don't need to assassinate if the issue is just getting more forces here. You can pass the badges to other members.
You're right, it may
Facilitate it.
facilitate reinforcements, or if we wanted to try and assassinate Urso, that would be one way to do it. However, that room is full of his best men, and were he to die, I'm sure somebody would take his place. I'm not confident that killing the head of this snake will take care of the problem.
How long would you say it would take for your forces to be bolstered up here?
A couple of days at the very least. We have many tunnels to climb up and many magpies to avoid.
I propose a plan then. We return to him and say, you will be out of here in a couple of days. Peaceful manner. It takes a while to move supplies to the lower levels. Meanwhile, your forces come up here, and instead, when he thinks you are gone, you will be in greater numbers than ever.
I
I just take
imagine.
it.
I believe your best bet would actually be to just let him assume we are dead or elsewhere. We go about helping out the water collectors because I do not wish to see us die of dehydration. We give our badges to fellow, sorry, what's the name of this group again?
Red Ravens.
The Red Ravens.
Fellow Red Ravens, and they use it to bolster their numbers up here
Fast.
in the meantime.
I also believe this is the best course of action.
If you wish to, no, he turns to Elia. If you wish to return and try to lie to Urso's face, I mean, that may help us out. However, I hesitate to say that he may notice, and I don't think he really wanted this resolved peacefully. So I feel like he may, be less than impressed at your particular method.
Well, since we only have 5 badges, I think they should be used wisely. And I don't believe 5 badges are going to help a few people ferry around what could be hundreds of forces.
It certainly won't be hundreds. We're talking reinforcements of maybe 30.
Well,
Should be enough to
Large
take the tier.
group
It's
is
not
not
exactly a
gonna be-
small tier. It's not exactly a large tier.
I'm gonna help them ferry it.
Disguised by 5 badges.
You are right, of course, but it may be helpful. However, if you wish to keep yours, you may. I agree in that taking care of the issue with the water with the water collectors is the best method to deal with this in the most efficient manner. I would send my own men, but of course, you might be able to get surprised upon these individuals coming from a direction they do not expect.
Alright, let's do that.
I agree.
If you
This
could give
seems
us
to be
information on where
the,
to find these water areas. We do not know the layout of this area.
You'll be
town.
headed further down the main elevator shaft, and there are drippage collection areas, which are basically places where it is cool enough, sheltered enough from the sun that there is a sort of condensation that appears due to the cold metals. Right? The drippage is then put into those large wooden vats that you see near the water storage or the water dispensary areas, and can be drank with almost no health issues.
Hmm.
It's these places that you'll be going. One in particular that I think you may be able to take care of.
Who has the map, by the way? Just out of character.
You guys can choose. You have one map, so.
Does it matter to you guys?
Nope.
No,
Anybody
it
have
doesn't matter.
geography?
It's not me
No.
who has it. That's all I gotta say.
Split it into pieces and we'll all go our separate ways.
No.
Guys,
Genius.
If it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna hand him the map and just ask him to. Do you mind just showing us on this map, or
Of
is
course,
this map accurate?
and he
Just, like,
takes
indicate
he takes
it.
the map from you and like looks it over. Obviously, this is intel for him as well because this is like what the Magpies consider their territory and so forth. Is like all marked out
Mhm.
on this map, you know.
This also might be
he-
useful to you.
He sort of reads it over and then like X's like 3 or 4 spots and goes like any of these would be suitable.
All right. Thanks. Kind of, like,
Do you
grab
wish
the
for
map
us
back.
to return to you or your council? And if we were to return to your council, how would they know that we are with you?
He hesitates for a second because he's not sure how to present you guys. You know, like he doesn't have any way to sort of like make you look like you're part of the alliance. So he thinks a second and then like undoes the clasps on his like red cloak, you know, and like whips it over his shoulders and bundles it up and like hands it to Isil and says, "This is mine. They'll know."
Many thanks.
And I'm gonna start heading out.
Cool.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, this is going in like a completely awesome direction. All right.
Different places.
Honestly, I'm so happy. Okay.
Fucking gotta mute your ass. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So much echo.
Okay. So, you guys
Yeah.
make your way down through
Actually,
Yeah.
I do believe I want to go back to the Magpie territory.
You want to go back to the Magpie territory?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
Who
Even
else?
by myself.
Who else is going with you?
I'm not going.
Not going.
I'd rather
Not going. Not going.
I can't go.
Not going. Orog?
No.
Not going. Okay,
I
so
also have
just
beef.
you. So
Yep.
Alaya is going to go by herself to the Magpie territory. All right, we'll do that first, and then I'll cut back to you guys. Okay?
Sure.
All right. So heading to the Magpie territory.
I should have gone for my lady friend, but
So you climb your way back up to the Magpie territory. The rest of them are all not there.
Yes,
I feel myself
and
fading away.
I'm gonna go over to Penelope here.
Oh, sorry guys. Can you guys can still see the map even without your tokens, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Just because I want
Yeah.
you to have something to look at. So you're gonna go over to Penelope. She's gonna see you approach sort of the curtained off area and look over her shoulder and say, "Oh, what can I do for you?"
Well, Penelope, I don't wish to bother your father, but I wish for you to convey him a message.
My father? She looks like super confused. She's like, "Who? You met my father?"
I'm sorry, I made an assumption. The leader of the Magpies is not your father?
Oh, no. We're just friends. You know, really, really good friends.
His language to referring you was different.
Oh, well, you know, you know how it is sometimes. She's like sort of half talking to you and half like pouring stuff between certain, beakers. There's like a green bubbling thing in front of her, and she's clearly watching it carefully in case it like spills over, and you can hear it hissing, sort of, to a boiling point.
Well, I wish you to inform your leader that the Red Ravens shall be departed and moving in a few days.
Well, why don't you tell him yourself? He's right over there. I'm sure he would really want to hear that news from the people who are delivering it, of course. Where are your friends?
They are busy seeing that the Red Ravens are moving out.
Did you have to kill them?
No, we simply told them that it would be better for their existence if they were to leave that too.
Oh, well, I mean, if they're going peacefully, that's good. I mean, the less people that die, the better. She sort
And I
of.
wish to see that my friends are not overpowered should the Red Ravens choose not to leave forcibly.
Well, I mean, I don't. What do you want me to do about it? You should be talking to Urso.
Convey the message.
Okay. I mean, I will, but I'm sort of busy, and you're right here.
Yes, but I must attend back to my friends should they be perishing at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah. Okay. She's like not really paying attention anymore because clearly she's like been interrupted in the middle of something that she's up to.
Exactly.
She gets.
Because I
back
didn't
to-
want to tell him because he'd make a sense motive check. She would be too distracted to make one. So
It's like, pouring stuff.
I'm gonna head back down, hopefully
dang it, this
in the
guy.
direction
Okay.
that the rest of them have been going.
God dang it! This Tengu interrupting me while I'm just. Damn! I just thought of
like
something.
10
I just thought of
things.
something awesome I could have done, but I totally didn't.
Have her like explode.
is she thinking about me?
No.
I'm not gonna tell you. You don't know anything about what's going on in her head. All right. So you guys make your way back down, or Alia makes her way back down, and you guys are you guys waiting, or are you sort of headed off without Alia?
Oh, I snuck around, so they can go ahead without me.
Okay. All right. But you eventually actually roll survival, Alia.
You're
Okay.
dead.
It's
Just-
like,
You
get
didn't survive. Sorry.
Just because
No,
you're,
he's just gonna
well,
get off.
it's just because you're not the one with the map, are you?
Yeah.
Mm,
No, I'm not.
it's like bitch got lost. Fuck.
Perfect.
Oh, no.
You
Oh,
managed.
snap.
Just
you
rolling
managed
20.
to use the, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you just rolled
Yeah.
20. You
Oh,
gotta roll a
yeah,
d20.
Keep going, Elf. I like where you're going with that.
That's nondescript.
That's not quite as good.
I like
so
just
you,
write
We'll just
roll
add
20.
a
It's
0
like,
at the end.
You wander around, pretty lost for a little while as you're headed back down. You know, take a wrong turn or two, run into some people that you know.
Well, I could also be using the badge to make sure.
Sure, and you know, people do direct you. I just wanted to see, you know, what
Okay.
you would get.
How badly? I mean, with the 2, you can get me lost pretty badly.
Yeah,
so.
but
I don't-
you know what? It's not really that big of a deal.
It's not a 1.
Yeah.
Find the
If it
Boy
were, if it
Scouts.
had been a 1, I probably would have excluded you from what's coming up. But I don't want to exclude you from like probably what's going to be the only combat in this session. You know what I mean? So
Well,
I'd
I don't
prefer-
have my spells.
I'd prefer
so-
if you were there. Anyway.
I mean, I didn't have any time to prepare my spells since
True.
I basically just got my spell book back.
True.
So, yeah,
So
we'll
we'll-
find another way.
We'll rest and take an 8.
Well, I mean, you can if you want.
Nah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we were
but
headed
spells.
to the water.
So,
thing.
I
you
wouldn't
make-
let him rest.
You make your way down, to one of the water collecting areas. And okay, this is like a little bit shoddy, but you guys will just have to excuse me for the map. You make your way down to one of the water collecting areas.
that's pretty
Um,
good.
The spaces
Give it
in
a
between the spaces in between the platforms are like sand, like it's like proper sand, you know, like it's just like rolled in from the various gaps where the sunlight is collected, and you can see because I'm assuming you can see the map, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
The each above each of these buckets, there's sort of like a little drip of water that's just like
Okay, so those are collecting pretty much.
yeah, like down into the buckets from like what looks like it's condensation like on the like the metal above. And these guys are clearly magpies. They've got like badges of the magpies, and the water collector sort of group that was in here has clearly been run off. And they're like salvaging the sort of water that's already there and like waiting for more to drip down as they sort of like collect the flasks that have been filled and so forth. Okay, so I'm gonna put you on the map.
So this is more like a collection of platforms, more so than like a room.
Yeah, it's like a collection of platforms on sand, pretty much. You know. Okay.
Oh, this is really low level then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, like we're all the way down?
Not all the way, but it's certainly like the thing is like the city is tilted a little bit, so even some of the tiers that are like lower down, that are sort of like higher up on the lower side, are like dipped into the ground, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
also
you'll
the
still be
possibility
in
that
sand.
over time the sand will just kind
Yeah,
of
I mean it just
onto
rolls in like blowing in and stuff by wind and weather.
When you leave a structure in a desert for a very long period of time, it basically starts to pile up on a side wherever
Yeah.
wind is predominant.
Yeah, it does.
Slowly buries it.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's do this noise. So you guys appear here, coming out of the pipes, and one of the guys turns to you and says, "Hey, what are you doing here? You know, like this is a restricted area. You're not allowed here."
It's quite alright, quite alright. And I'll pull out my magpie badge.
Mm-hmm.
We were sent here by Urso himself.
Oh, were you? Oh, okay. Well, give us a hand. We gotta lift these huge things, and we try not to spill anything, you know? I'm looking for something I can seal it with, but, you know, the water collectors are the ones that carry that stuff around. Maybe you have
yes,
to
we
find
were-
one and stab them a little bit.
We were asked to find where you put the water collectors. Did you just run them off, or did you
Oh,
capture?
yeah. No, they ran as soon as we showed up, waving weapons around. They are...
While he's being distracted, I want to draw my weapon just like as with sleight of hand, so no one sees it.
Oh, okay. What weapon are you using?
A
Just because, depending on how large it is, sleight of handing like a katana is pretty hard.
nunchuck.
Okay.
I'm going to
It's a light weapon.
look at this
Okay.
barrel and I'd be all like, this barrel doesn't look very stable, and I'm gonna pull out my warhammer to like tap on it.
Okay. So
See,
you
I
just
barely
like
rolled
what? You just like pull
open.
out your hammer and like clack 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 on the side of
Yeah.
the vat. He goes, no, these are stable. These are the ones the water collectors use. It's all good. But I don't have any of the lids because they have the lids like you know, they carry them around like on their backs like shields. And they ran off. So we gotta figure out how we're gonna move these things without spilling them.
There's
In the
one
meantime,
unfortunate thing.
while this is all going on,
Yeah.
I want to go to the person that like I'm near, who's
Yeah.
kind of not the person who came to
There we go.
interrupt us or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But the other person,
Sure.
and I want to start talking to them and be like load, like just so only they can hear. And while I'm talking to them, I want to use charm person like before, like.
You
as
gonna
I'm
like try
kinda-
and sleight of hand charm person like under
Yeah,
under
like sneakily do
like
it.
like wave your hand sneakily.
Yeah.
So roll a sleight of hand for me.
Wait, are you trying to Jedi mind trick?
He's
Yeah.
trying to Jedi mind trick.
Okay.
It's
Give me a
not the
second.
droids you're looking for.
I just need to make sure I know what my thingy is. Okay, that is. Okay.
By the way, Elf, I rolled perception to see if I can see something to jump off of to get a height advantage.
See something to jump off of. There are several sort of like what look like sort of rebar, you know, like structures that like point straight up. Let me mark them for you.
I only need one.
No, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you
Oh,
a couple.
damn,
I'm gonna
that
give you a
didn't
couple
work.
options. So there's one here,
Okay.
and there's one here, and there's one here, and there's one here, like sort of the corners of the platforms. You know what I mean?
Cage match.
So, yeah, you
Yeah, shit.
you walk up to this dude and you
Didn't
pretty much go
stealthily
like
do it.
this, you know, like
Yeah.
in his face, and he goes like he like blinks, and I have to make a will save for charm person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a will save, and we'll see.
Make it at +2 modifier, because I get that for being an elf and shit.
Okay, but I'm making it at minuses because you did it like so openly.
Yeah, that's,
know what I
that's
mean?
fine.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Do I have to add my? Do I still make a roll? Because I know it's like charisma.
No,
and
no,
shit.
you don't do anything. It's,
No,
it's
it
all
Don't
doesn't
me.
do rolls
No?
for spells.
That's not how charm person works.
No,
Okay,
it's
that's fine.
What's your
it's
modifier per
reaction.
class?
It's a reactionary thing.
What do you mean modifier for?
You're,
Oh, I
the
get +2
difficulty
to
class.
I get +2 to my caster level. That's all I know.
Okay, but what's the DC for saving versus your charm
Yeah.
person?
Isn't it will save versus 10 plus level plus charisma?
No.
Plus one half level.
It's 10 plus charisma for
Plus
wait.
cast,
What class are you?
Level.
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Okay, yeah. Then charisma, 10 plus charisma plus the level of the spell.
Okay,
Oh,
so I
that's
get, I know I get +2 on like my
Caster
caster
level.
levels, so that's +2 to the level of the spell. So that's
Yeah.
10 plus 3 plus 3, and then yeah, +3 plus 3.
16.
10 plus 3 plus 3, and if I equal it, that means that I pass.
It's not
I
your caster
believe.
level though.
Yeah,
So,
well, it's the first level. So.
unfortunately, he resists your charm person, and
That's fine.
like,
I'm still gonna talk to him.
you basically walk up to him and wave your hand in his face, and he blinks and he's like, what the hell, man? You know, like
I
Sorry.
apologize. It is the custom of my people.
roll bluff,
Um,
roll bluff, roll
I am
bluff, roll
here
bluff,
to
roll bluff,
inform you
roll
that,
bluff,
uh,
roll bluff, roll bluff.
Just tell him it was the
could be.
sand in his eyes.
Yeah, just fucking okay. I was like, let me just at least.
No,
say
roll
what
bluff. God damn it!
I'm-
It was kind of a blow.
Yeah.
This is a custom.
I mean, I don't see Kraz doing it to everyone.
I'm sorry.
Kraz is ugly.
This is true, actually.
It's only a custom of the cool-looking people.
There you
Yeah,
go.
only-
You're
only the
good.
Cool kids do it.
He's not an elf. He doesn't know. It's cool.
Okay.
And if he was an elf?
Be in trouble.
Yeah, then it'd be like, wait, what the fuck? No, maybe only the urban people do this. Okay. Anyway, what race is he, by the way? I assume I know it is. Just by looking at him, or like,
Hey,
what does
he's,
he look
he's
like?
human.
He's
Human.
human. Okay. This is just because it's been pointed out that he's not an elf, and I should have asked that shit first. Okay. What was I saying? Sorry, I had a
said,
whole thing,
"Hello,
and then like
waved
it
your
was like
hand."
roll bluff, and I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck am I doing?
Okay.
Okay. Just remember, I'm talking only he can hear me. Like, that's kind of the level that I'm talking at.
Yeah.
What's his name? Urso?
Urso, yeah.
Urso has sent us here because he has a reason to believe that your man over there, and I kind of like, you know, not point, but
yeah, but like nod, sort of.
yeah, exactly, to the guy behind him. that
This guy?
that also believes the Red Ravens have employed, have coerced, if you will, your friend into betraying you,
The
and
red,
we are here to deal with him. Yeah.
the Red Ravens.
Yes.
I don't think so, man. I mean, you know, he's been with us for a while. I don't think he would just switch sides like that. Like, he starts, like, talking to you about it. Is anybody else doing anything right now that I need to know about? Because, like,
Well,
I'm
I'm
preparing
drawing
a charge.
you're preparing a charge? Okay.
I drew my weapon.
Drew your
so-
weapon.
I'm kind of looking at this guy, and I'm about to hit him. So whenever you want, I can do a surprise round.
Surprise round, then we'll roll initiative.
Yeah.
Surprise
right
round,
before the
remember
surprise round?
surprise rounds are only one action, so only standard
Yes.
or move. You can't do both.
Unfortunately,
Is
you're
charge
attacking a
included?
neutral party. Are you not?
Like, I'm just going to talk to him right before hitting him.
He's like, yeah, but we you know, he told us
smack
to.
him in the face.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So do you want
roll, everybody roll initiative, and then we'll
That's
do
a
it in
D20?
order. That's D20 plus your initiative modifier, which is like your dex modifier plus your miscellaneous initiative modifier.
22.
2.
I don't
20.
believe you can charge because it's a full round action.
Oh
It
wait,
is a action.
how do I
So-
put that in there? I got 20.
Yeah.
But what you can do if you
Five.
want, Rakvalsha, is if you hold your action in the surprise round until the first round of the next turn, then then you can charge like first. You know what I mean?
I'll do it.
You can just click and drag your.
Yeah, if you just
initiative.
like click and drag your number over to the initiative table, guys. Orog
Where's the
and
table?
Didier. There we go.
DTA got it. But
Yeah.
There we go. Cool. So descending, we got Kraz first.
Okay.
Oh, wait, surprise round.
Yeah, a surprise round.
Okay.
But I do it in initiative order.
I'm using Slumber on this guy.
Using slumber on that guy? Okay.
Yep.
Slumber,
DC 19.
Is slumber just a sleep spell? Like he just falls
It's
asleep?
a will save, 1 turn sleep, since I'm only level 1.
Okay, cool.
It's a hex, 30-foot range.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright.
Which guy?
The guy in front of you.
Oh, nice.
So it's a
This
will
guy.
save. These guys only have that much will. Okay, he didn't make it, so he's asleep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He like
Well-
falls asleep immediately.
I would
Coups are
recommend
real.
Your turn.
Does that mean he's on the floor? You just like slumped down?
What?
He's helpless.
What are you trying to say, Isil?
Orog, you may want to hold your turn because if you hit him, he breaks from sleep.
I could just coup de grace. He's helpless.
He's
No, you
helpless.
can't.
He's,
It's a full round.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a full round, which means you'd have to hold your turn.
Okay,
Yeah, you'd
then
have to
I'll
hold
my
turn and then.
So
And
instead
full
of
round.
acting in the surprise round, act in the round after. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like, act
Okay.
first in the next round.
Didier.
Yeah, I'm just looking up a spell so that I can make sure I can, do it. Cause
Yeah.
I can do a spell in this round, right?
Yes.
Cast
Okay.
all the illusions.
One of my
That's
one
what
of my
I intend to do.
one of my prerequisites for playing a caster is like know the details of your spells before you cast them. So yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's just I don't remember.
No,
the
it's
specific
it's
spell.
cool. It's cool because it's like your first time in the campaign and stuff. But like, you should have a list open or something, So you know what.
Well, it's good that
write
he's
it
looking up before he goes. I'm gonna cast this.
Oh
What
yeah,
does it
for
do?
sure. He's
I
like
don't
he's like looking it
know.
up first, which is good.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm doing color spray
Okay.
Oh,
on
snap.
the guy I was talking to essentially.
Okay, so you're color spraying him.
Rainbows in his face.
You explain to me what I need to do for color spray.
Okay, color spray is it's got spell resistance. It's a saving throw against will.
Okay, so will
Like
save.
his will?
Okay.
It's a will save, and essentially I don't know how many hit die of creatures this guy is, but
One.
depending on his hit die, if I hit him, it does different stuff.
He's one hit die of creatures.
Okay, then
Ah.
he is unconscious,
Die.
blinded, and stunned for 2d4
Okay,
rounds.
so let me see if he can make the will. Let me see if he can make
Yeah,
the will
color
save.
spray is intense.
Color spray's
I-
awesome. Yeah.
I think
Uh,
you might
for
be
lower
denied a
levels,
will
it
save.
doesn't work so much hot for higher levels.
Yeah, it's
I
a
took
low
off.
level spell. So he doesn't make it. So he is just like knocked unconscious and blinded and just like.
do you want me to roll the
Totally
2d4 rounds?
Yeah, please.
Oh my lord. So that's another coup de grace. This is the coup de grace group, Elf. You know this, right?
So 6. All right.
That's
Cool.
why I got a katana. Easy +4.
Alia.
Instantly kill people.
Oh, and can I move or just do an action since it's the
No,
surprise?
No,
just one action.
you can only do an action because it's
Perfect.
a surprise round.
Okay,
You
that's fine.
take one standard action or move action.
Oh, by the way,
Uh,
he is here, let me just finish what I was saying.
Yeah.
He is blind, unconscious, blinded, and stunned for these 6 rounds. Then once he's unstunned from
He
those
won't
rounds,
be.
he's blinded and stunned for another 1d4 round.
He won't
And
survive
then
that
after
long.
that d4 round, he's stunned for 1 round.
Just
Um,
really retarded.
So he's fucking useless.
If
Okay.
he's unconscious, does that
For
does
2d4,
damage,
he's helpless. Yeah.
Unconscious
does
is
damage like
helpless.
get him out of that?
No.
Okay.
No, unconscious is like being at -1
Okay.
almost.
Because I can't charge the other guy because I'll wake him up.
Alright. So it's
can charge the
Duncan,
guy at
but
once.
Duncan, you're holding your action, right?
Just run at just run
Well,
at this guy
it's
at the
my
end.
action.
Oh yeah,
but-
of course, Alia.
There's no way I can hit him.
Sorry, I
Till next round.
Yeah, I know.
do your thing.
I'm just gonna move and swift part of moving. Draw my Urumi.
Okay, cool.
You have a +1. Bab?
And then
Actually, no, I do not. So
Oh, yeah, you-
I'll just move.
Okay, perfect. Duncan, you're gonna hold your action for the charge.
Hold charge.
Hold charge. Orog, you're holding for the coup de grace.
Coldenberg, coup de grace.
Cool. Isel,
I'm gonna attack this guy.
smack that dude.
14.
He's flat-footed, so it's cool.
In your face.
5 damage.
5 damage. You. Okay, so that brings him
Almost
to.
max.
Okay. So I gotta roll initiative for these guys, and then I'll have the 2 held actions, of course. So, okay, hold on. I'm gonna roll initiative. Okay, Duncan, do your held action. So you're charging, right, Duncan?
I'm actually going to let Orog go first.
Okay, Orog, do your coup de grace.
I
In
rolled
case
to
that
hit, I
one-
guess.
You roll like it with a critical damage. And
Just
then,
roll critical damage,
yeah,
man.
just roll critical damage.
Yeah, you
Roll
automatically
the hit or just damage?
No,
okay,
you don't
just
need to roll
damage.
to hit because he's helpless. You just like
Okay.
stabbing a sword into him.
Roll
Does that mean he
2,
does a d50?
No,
No.
D6.
Okay.
No.
I was wondering about that.
haven't had a single one of those this session, but that's kind of good because the chart is.
There you go.
broken. Okay.
He's gotta beat a 22 fort save.
Okay, let's see if he can do it. I don't think he can, but we'll see.
Because of my sneak
Nope,
attack.
he is dead as a doornail.
Okay.
And that's just like nunchuck to the face.
Yeah, he's just
And-
like immediately dead. So
I'm going
Duncan,
to jump. Or actually, I'm going to run, jump on the rebar, and jump through the air and punch this guy in the
Okay,
face.
you need to acrobatics that because like
I know. Oh god, this is not gonna be good. Oh god.
That's like worse than my
Oh,
like.
that
Oh,
acrobatics.
that's actually a +4, but it's still bad.
That acrobatics is not good enough. Like you're
So,
you're
um,
jumping off rebar to get like a bonus flying through the air punch. Like no, that's not a good enough roll. So you land sort of
This hurts.
here. You manage to like catch yourself because it's not an awful roll, but you have to like sort of like stop your momentum because you're like headed in the wrong direction towards Alia. Like you jumped at like a weird angle and you're about to punch Alia in the face basically, so you had to like stop. So
Then you guys aren't gonna like my next charge.
That's-
Spilling water everywhere.
Oh, it's valuable resource.
That's your turn. Alright, so I'm going to add the initiative for all of these fine gentlemen. Hold on 1 second while I do that.
I don't think you should bother adding the unconscious guy.
Yeah, neither do I, but I'm going to do it anyway. He's probably going to die in like 2 seconds flat, so...
I was about to say
Okay.
he's gonna be
Grass.
incapacitated for a while.
Okay. So I kind of meander slowly over this way and say, rockabye and good night, and I put him to sleep.
Can you just do that? What the hell?
Wait,
Yeah.
who-
once
you can
once
do
per
that.
target.
Once per target? Holy
Yes.
shit.
Yeah. If they fail, then they can't be slept again. Or if
Yeah.
they wake up,
Yeah,
they can't
okay.
be slept again.
okay, he's
No
gonna...
matter what, I can't use it on the same target
Alright,
twice.
so you're trying to sleep this guy?
Yeah. DC 19.
He didn't make his will save either. Oh my god.
Level
Okay.
1s, yeah!
Yeah, these
Level
guys...
1 sleep spell.
These
Okay.
guys have shitty will save, so he's asleep. DTA.
Ah, yes. Can I see that guy behind there, by the way?
Yeah.
This is a barrel.
Yeah. You'd be able to see him.
Okay, let me just ruler this shit. I don't know how far he is from me.
God, the problem is, I don't think my character would coup de grace a person.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Like my character would be kind of like, oh god, I'm not
Oh,
sure if I
snap.
should even
Okay,
hit this
good.
guy.
Perfect. That's exactly 30 feet. I like it. Except I'm gonna step forward just because. That's how much can I move? I can move 30, right?
30, or if you double move, 60. But then you can't attack, right?
Well, then
Yeah.
again,
I'll just move there just
Okay.
to be sure. And I'm gonna use daze on this guy.
Okay.
It's another will thing.
Wait, are
It's,
you doing this on the unconscious dude? Or...
No, on the
Okay,
the
other guy. Okay, cool.
The unconscious dude is unconscious. Whatever.
So you're
He's
dazing
fucking-
him, which is the, like, can't act for the turn. or
Can't act
whatever.
for 1 round.
Okay, so
but then
he's gonna
he's
make...
immune. He's immune to that spell.
He's gonna make a will
for-
save. He passes his will save.
Okay.
So nothing
That's
happens. So
that's
nothing
that,
happens.
Then
Alia.
that's fine.
Alright, I'm going to draw my weapon as 1 move action.
Yep.
I believe it is a move action.
Mhm.
And then move right up in that guy's. Actually, no, right here. Let him walk towards me.
Right up in that guy's face.
Yep.
Cool. Alright, so this guy is going to turn to you and step, 5-foot step, and attack.
He's dazed, isn't he?
No, he
No,
passes
he's
his
not.
will save, dude.
Oh, okay.
He passed it. Yeah, he's not dazed.
So he's going to attack, and what's your AC?
Cast
18.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't hit you. Alright, this guy's turn. He's unconscious. This guy's turn, he's asleep. Can I make any save against sleep when I'm asleep? Can I, like, try to wake
no.
up?
No. He'll wake up next turn though. It's only
Duncan.
This is the Pokemon.
Alright.
an ally can wake him up though if he was right next to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it still gonna coup de grace that guy?
It looks like it.
You don't know.
Okay.
You have
You
no
have-
idea.
You have no idea.
You've only just
Um,
met this person.
Well, if you want to tell
charging
visually,
this guy
Okay.
with jump. I mean acrobatics.
Are you, like, jumping over the barrel?
I'm
Yeah.
jumping on the barrel.
Okay.
and-
There's no lid on the barrel, you idiot.
You're gonna jump in the barrel.
Oh
With the barrel.
Get the rolls out of the way, man. Get him
You
out.
end up inside the barrel, like knee deep in water, basically.
Dude, I'm splish splash. I was taking a bath. All right.
Oro. I love failed acrobatics checks. They're the best.
You're like, no,
Duncan
he's
is
like
having a-
face, with that roll, he's like face in the fucking barrel.
Dude, Duncan is having a rough night. That's all I gotta say.
I'm just gonna move over here and coup de grace this guy.
Okay.
you cannot.
You can't, because you
So
can't
you're,
move
like,
it-
prepping
you can't,
the coup
you
de
can't
grace.
move in coup de grace, because coup de grace is
Yeah.
a full round action.
Oh,
It's
then he's
up-
asleep, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll just put away my nunchucks and take out my katana.
Okay.
He's not asleep. He's unconscious.
He's
He can
unconscious,
straight
so
up-
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah. You could prepare a coup de grace next round.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Isel?
Is it possible to tie up a sleeping person?
I think if you, like, touch them, they're gonna rouse awake, right? Like, I mean...
Only if they take damage. In terms of a magical sleep,
It's
it's only if they
gamble.
take damage. They
I don't know, man. Like, cause you'd have to, like, turn them around. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to actually, like, move them a lot. Like, it is a magical sleep though. So
Yeah, but
you've
he
got,
wakes
like,
up
the
Well-
problem for me is, can you tie him up in 6 seconds? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because he'll be awake by the time you're done. You know what I mean?
That is true.
So I don't
Look
think
at
that
it
it.
this-
I don't think it would be possible on a 1-round like sleep.
Just
Would
disarm
you allow
him.
a disarm then? Yeah, a disarm.
You could disarm him. Yeah, you could definitely, like, kick his weapon away or something.
Yeah, is that an instant success or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's sleeping.
I'll
He
disarm
drew
him
his
of his
weapon and
weapons.
then he fell asleep. So
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is disarm his weapons, throw him away, and then like rouse him awake.
okay, so you basically, like, kick his short sword and his, like, extra dagger, like, away from him and then shake him awake. Okay.
I cannot hit a sleeping man. Wake up, please.
Okay.
Take away his weapons and then kill him next round.
Nice.
Then he's a helpless man.
So
anyway.
he's like on the ground and awake right now. He's like prone
Yeah,
and awake.
I don't.
All right, Kraz.
I'm hoping that he just like gives up, but
So at this point, I see that the situation is largely under control, so I start wandering over to Duncan this way, but I don't make it that far.
Okay. Didier.
Yes, I know what I want to do. Awesome. Okay, it's a ranged touch attack. I was just making sure. Okay, So what I'm doing is I need to actually check my distance. Where can I move? Oh, dude, I can move forever.
Because you're an elf.
Awesome. Okay, let's move there. And I'm a fucking laser beam acid ray this bitch.
Which bitch?
The one that I targeted last time.
Okay.
So it's a ranged touch attack, I assume.
So roll d20 plus your ranged attack modifier.
Okay, so yeah, awesome. Dex.
And you're Bab.
I don't have a bab. I'm a sorcerer. Ha! I laser beam nothing.
Yeah, you miss horrifically. You just like scarred the outside of the barrel that Duncan is in. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna attempt to slice this guy with my Urumi.
Hell yeah. You hit him.
Yep. Actually, that's also critical.
Oh yeah, you're right. So roll d50.
21? Wait, that doesn't make sense though.
Get to use the crit hit table.
Yay! Hang on. It's normal critical.
Oh, never mind.
But it just says you rolled 21, not like you rolled the dice.
Yeah, but it's look if you mouse over that yellow 21,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
macro, right?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, he rolled a 19 base.
So normal
Nice.
critical. So you know the drill.
Just
Oh, I forgot to have my sneak attack.
hopefully this works. Of course not.
I don't see anything. Yeah.
It's actually supposed to be 3d6. Damn.
Hey,
There we go.
There we go. Okay, 17 damage. He is murdered immediately.
Actually, it's 15 damage.
Okay, well still he's dead.
hey, by the way, Elf,
Yeah, what's up?
since we've already confirmed this one, confirm crits this session, remember, of this campaign.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're right. I should have.
You want me to do that?
Yeah,
Cody pointed it out.
yeah. You should do
Okay.
that. Just roll it again. It's good.
Yeah,
You're
you
fine.
good. You good.
You're fine, and you're right to point it out because I've fallen back. I fell back on like old habits.
Yeah, I
and
mean, I took
you're-
a trait to
You
even
guys,
do that.
you
so
guys
I
are
should
right. You know, it is confirmed crits. Okay, so this guy's unconscious, so he gets shit all. This guy is not asleep, but he has no weapons, so he is going to get up and try and just like tackle Isil.
You're gonna A out for him getting up?
Yeah, you can A off him getting up, but
Alright, I'll, guess I'll do a basic attack. Eh.
Alright, 8.
8.
8 to hit.
Probably not.
You don't hit him to hit. So he's going to try and like just like tackle you, grapple. Let's see, what do I have?
You can't see it, Duncan. You're in the water.
That definitely doesn't beat it, your CMD.
Your head is in the
Duncan!
water and you can't do anything.
License
Duncan-
properly.
Duncan, upset over his current circumstances, is going to climb out of the barrel, grab it, and chuck it at the unconscious guy as an improvised weapon.
Okay, so you're taking like a minus 4.
Improvised
Yes.
Prone weapon.
Oh,
It's
wait
like,
a
can
minute.
you lift
Holy
the
crap,
barrel?
can you lift a barrel
It's
of
it's
water?
like yeah, it's pretty heavy, man. But he's got 18 strength, so you know what? All right, so you huck the valuable liquid that is half a barrel of water,
If
and
you
it
rolled only a
and it
10.
like hits here and just shatters and does nothing.
No.
Duncan
You
is super
fool!
upset with current
Orog.
circumstances.
Duncan
just
is
gonna-
not doing so hot in combat. Like
Yeah,
this
it just like soaks into the ground, and like you can see the sand on the edges like getting wet with the water that you spilt into it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
don't
makes
think the
me
water
sad
bearer
on
is
the
gonna be
inside.
too happy.
I'm just coup de grace him. This
Okay,
guy.
coup de grace. So roll damage as if it were a critical.
So I need to roll 2d8 and a d6 for the sneak attack. Roll
Okay,
Six.
so this is gonna be hard.
15.
I don't actually think I can beat that. No, he dies.
Actually, plus 4 because it's a katana.
He
so
dies. Isil.
I'm gonna try to communicate with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Please, give up and come into our custody. All your friends are dead. I do not want you to die as well.
Roll diplomacy.
Surfacer?
Yeah.
33 do it?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, okay, man. I'm like, I give up. You know, he tried to tackle you and it didn't do shit, and like you just buffed him off with like your, shield. You have a shield, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you just like buffed him off with your shield, and he's like, no, man, don't kill me, please. You know, sort of thing. Just in front of you. So combat over.
Ta-da!
Unless one of you's
I-
gonna just wander over and murder the guy.
I walk around and I take everybody's badge and I go get that dude who surrendered his badge as well.
Okay. And he gives it up willingly. It's just like, fine, man, take it. Like, just don't murder me. I
I
don't
go
wanna
up
die.
to Duncan and like slap him in the face and go, "You fool!"
Ah, this place, I swear, it's driving me insane.
You don't have to
In the
waste
world.
water. We're in a desert. It's the most valuable resource here. Think before you act.
It's already tainted with my awesome taste.
At least you would have been able to drink it.
Glistening sweat from my body surely would have permeated it.
I kind of just sigh and go, ugh.
Oh, no.
Alright.
Am I able to make anything of this?
Make anything of what?
I'm trying to salvage the barrel.
Oh, you're trying to salvage the it's like broken. I mean, like
Oh.
it's a barrel. It was watertight when it was like fully formed, but as soon as you crack it, like you can't really fix it.
Hell yeah.
It's-
Because
What
when
about
Duncan breaks
sorcerer?
it,
I know a bit about magic.
I mean, you might be able to mend it with like a mending spell, but
Yeah, I go over to. I've noticed that Didier is a spellcaster, so I go over to him and I say, "Could you possibly fix this barrel in some way?"
Non, ce n'est pas ce que je fais.
No.
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna move what's left of this barrel over to where it was previously, so it can't like lose its position.
Yeah.
Where it was water dropping.
yeah.
It appears we have completed our task as best we could. We should probably inform the sorry, what was the name? Water keepers?
Water collectors.
We should inform the water collectors to return and go back to the Red Ravens. Ravens?
Yep.
We
Probably.
should leave the.
I go.
Just think alliteration, like Red Ravens.
I go to
But,
the other guy up here and say, "Where did the water collectors go?"
Hey man, we chased them off. I don't know where they went. You know, like we would have followed them if we knew where they go.
You, Orc. I believe it would be in our best interest to, keep tabs on this individual. Bring him
I
to
agree.
the Red Ravens.
I,
He is not to return to his people.
I go up to this dude.
Yeah.
And stop him from like moving around
Uh huh.
and tie him up with a rope.
Okay. So he
can't, like-
like submits to your to getting
Just kind
tied
of like
up.
go up
Dude,
to him and
he
like
just-
He just watched that guy like chop two people's heads
Yeah,
off.
he
like-
he doesn't want to die. You just coup de grace two people.
I slice somebody in half.
like, basically, you're murdering all the people, and I'm just making it into a shit show.
I like how Kraz just walked around and was like, "Sleep now, you too."
that
Just
was
a
great.
straight shit show.
Yo,
And
me and
I'm-
Kraz are CC. I don't know if you're next to me on the actual layout, but fist bump.
no,
Boom.
No, you got sideways
other way, other way,
Yeah,
other
we
way,
gotta-
other way,
Other way,
No.
other way, other way.
other
Other
way,
way.
dude. Because you're fist bumping me
Boom.
now.
On my screen, they were both just going like this.
They're both just going like.
We're doing a little dance.
Anyway, okay. So you guys,
I'm gonna hold them at katana point.
you guys have like fulfilled your agreement with the red ravens through clearing this place out. And as you guys are leaving, a guy like pokes his head around the corner. This is like he looks like he's like a halfling guy. Pokes his head around the corner and goes, Did you just kill all these guys in here?"
Unfortunately, yes. However, we are looking for the water collectors to return them to their rightful post.
Hey man, you found them. I was keeping an eye on this place in case these guys left, and I was gonna, try and get everybody in here and salvage the stuff that was left. But
Well, everything's here.
okay. I mean,
Take it.
we'll get back to it immediately. You know.
One
Uh,
of the barrels has been damaged in the fights. I do apologize for that.
That's fine. I'm sure we can salvage another one. And they the halfling like sort of enters past you because he knows it's important to like keep doing his work, sort of thing. And you can see that like on his back he has like a round piece of wood that looks like the top of one of the barrels. You know, like clearly he's one of the water collectors, and he has like a way to seal this thing.
Nice.
And he gets back to like doing what he does immediately. So yeah, there you go, guys. I think that's probably about what I have for you today. Unless you want to like go back and talk to people, but honestly, that's pretty much it.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty much the next thing we'd be doing is going to the Red Raven Council.
Yeah, and I don't have that yet. So
Or we could just
Go
keep
back
going
to
and
the
freeing
back
more
bodies.
barrels. We could go free all the barrels. There were only 3.
okay, so I'm gonna call it there for tonight. That was an awesome session, guys, and thanks very much for doing that. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and I got a full recording of it, so I'll be posting it to YouTube.
Bitch, you held it together today.
Oh god, I'm gonna look so terrible.